fucking idiot. That's
Yeah.
a piece of shit. I
Exactly.
wanted to hate them.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 50 of Spine Chill. 50 seasons. Let's go. Yes. So I'm John Wolf.
Are we recording?
The Hot Cross.
yeah.
Yeah, we're recording.
Oh
my god.
That's the perfect
like
intro. That's the perfect intro.
This is the guy. This is the guy who spent the last half hour being like, "Can we start? Can we start? Can we start?"
When Sino joined the call, we were like, "Hi, Sino," and you were like, "Loading. Hi."
You just asked me the most milk toast questions. I'm sorry, I don't want to
We asked how you are.
Questions
How are you
bored you, so
feeling?
you didn't answer them.
How am I? Great. Get on with the podcast.
You got a 20-second pause.
He ignored me so much that I had to ask him if we were okay.
Oh, before I forget, Sino, I saw the back of your shirt. That was adorable. You should show it to the.
Show it off. Yeah, show it off.
Why do
I
you
know I do the intro
always want
still,
me to
but-
get up? Right, okay. Just
Because you're the hot guy in the group, dude.
Right.
That's what you do. You gotta get dance for us.
Shouldn't we intro the podcast first?
We'll do that in a second.
No,
show the shirt.
show
Show it now.
Okay. Like this?
Wow.
Yeah, look at it.
Hang on.
Look at the red
Yeah.
pandas.
Hey.
Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah.
I love
The
it.
orbs.
I love
the
it.
orbs. I did too.
Right now,
So that's Seno Beats. And then we also have Doug Running Man.
Hi.
my intro got interrupted.
Hi. What about Gary? Yeah, This doesn't feel right.
I said Gary.
This doesn't feel
we
right.
recording?
I'm Gary, the hot cross.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Are we recording? Hello?
Stay
No,
there.
Stay critical.
We-
I have to follow Gary now. So,
We've been recording.
dude, this is awesome. This is
This is
the
our
best
best start.
50!
Best start.
Easily. 50. All
Good
right.
job, guys. I was here for like 4 of them.
I need to have my daughter here
Hey.
because she just recently started clapping.
Oh, that's
We
She
cute.
started
deserve that.
clapping
We
this
deserve
past
that
week.
applause. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
What a Father's Day gift, huh?
Yeah.
Happy
It was
Father's
just
Day,
before Father's Day she started doing it. So
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
U.S.
on.
Father's
Very
Day. Don't want to be Americentric. U.S. Father's Day.
Cool. Wait, there's
That was a close one.
there's Father's Days other places. That's not like
yeah. We do different days. I don't know why in Europe. I forget what ours was, but I don't
Yeah.
know why.
Gary, I hate to inform you, but I think Father's Day in the UK is actually the same day, and it's Mother's
Oh.
Day that's different.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
I don't really
And I
spend too
totally
much time
forgot.
thinking. I don't spend
Oh, I
much
should
time
probably-
thinking about Father's Day. So.
Yeah, for
Right.
you can have a bye, but my father, he's alive and he's quite nice to me, and I totally forgot. So whoops.
Wow. All right. On that heartwarming note,
Oh wow.
so what have
You
you guys
get-
been up to?
Are we
lately
recording?
besides for
Yeah. 50.
amazing.
50.
what have you guys been up to besides forgetting Father's Day?
Shit.
Yeah. My oldest son graduated high school. So
That's huge.
It's major. Yeah, he's going to be
Father's
heading off
Day
to
related?
college. Yeah, it was good. He's going to be heading off to college at University of Las Vegas, Nevada, here in a few
Ooh.
months. So,
Is that what do they teach you to gamble there?
yeah, I'm assuming there's going to be like craps practice. Probably
He's
some.
gonna be majoring in slots.
Yeah, he'll be going. He'll be. I don't. It's funny because he's my not my wild child. Like how there's usually two. He's the bookworm. He's the drama kid and straight edge bookworm kind of type. And he's going to Vegas, and it's just like it's kind of an interesting thing that he's so passionate about going there. But this is where his grandparents are at, and he spent a lot of time there growing up, and he's just really a fan of Nevada. So
Oh, that's nice. That's cute.
yeah, he's excited to go, and he'll be close to my parents, but then like far enough away that he can still kind of live on his own. So he'll have like.
Enough independence.
Yeah, you guys remember how close my folks are to Vegas? It's like it's under an
Yeah.
hour, right? So, and like he's got that like safety net, but then he's also got
Mhm.
his own freedom and doing his own thing. So I'm proud.
That's
of him.
cool.
Proud of him for
Yeah,
making
that's
the
awesome.
Do
decision.
you guys know why it's called craps?
I don't, and I cannot wait for you to teach me.
I'm
So-
excited.
I looked this up recently because I was like, why is it called craps? But apparently it's like, it was like a London kind of like English gambling house game. And then when the French picked it up, they have like a word. It's like crapaud, which is like toad or something. And
So
like
romantic, yeah.
they call like rolling twos or like twos and threes, which is like the lowest number, crapaud, which is like kind of close to crabs. And then when it hit Louisiana, I think People were not calling it crabs. They were calling it craps. It like started to change, and now that's why it's called craps, because it's like the shit roll basically. So it's like
it feels like the French are like an unnecessary step in that story. You just go, we're rolling a low number just makes you go, oh crap.
pretty much. It kind of all like looked back around to making sense again.
Yeah.
Because I always was like, why have we not changed this name?
It's a beautiful story.
I don't want to play craps.
I
I do that sometimes, but not in a casino.
It's not exactly the best marketing name for a game.
I don't like the SEO for that.
Yeah.
We're changing that.
Not
You
a
want to
fan.
play the glamorous slots, or you want to play shit?
Yeah.
You want to
wanna
play
play
shit
shit?
in your hand?
Do you want to
Yeah.
play Dookie?
You want to play shit sandwich? Here it is.
You rolled the shit.
Yeah.
Oh, you lose.
He
Better
just
luck
took a
next time.
shit. He just took a shit.
On the table. You got to like get it on like it's on the roulette wheel.
You know, it's really a wonder that we've lasted 50 episodes.
I was literally just like, where are we? What's happening? I don't know how do I even cut
you
in.
guys how
Right
your
now.
weeks were. I
I know.
believe.
Now Gary's talking about literal
No, we're talking
human
about
shit
shitting
on
on
a
a
roulette
table.
wheel.
Oh, like
on a
I
roulette
brought
wheel.
shit up.
On
I
a
brought
roulette
shit
wheel,
up.
though. I mean, you escalated is all I'm saying. Like, I know it's Sinnoh's idea, but you brought it to the next
Imagine how
level.
ferocious you could spin the roulette wheel.
Honestly, it'd be so smelly, right? Anyways.
Yeah.
You used to annoy me with Wheel of Fortune when people were like, they overly spun the wheel.
And
And
they
it's
shit
like,
on the wheel.
especially the shit on the wheel, really?
Shit on the wheel.
Can we start over?
No, this is all staying in. No do-overs.
Yeah,
I'd like to point out the difference in the podcast here. There's two camps sometimes. There's John and I, and then there's Gary and Doug.
True.
When it comes
I think the camps
I don't know.
cross over quite a lot.
I think
The
that
camps do rotate.
They're so exactly. They're so
Yeah, much like the
we're
wheel.
So, we just like we rotate around like the wheel.
we
Yeah, the
rotate
shit.
around, yeah.
yeah, I
Like,
mean,
sometimes it
Who's
just
the
depends
shit on the wheel.
I guess you could say we all shit on the wheel.
I think in our own way, we're all different shit on different wheels, right? And then sometimes those wheels, like a cog system, will interconnect and rotate. It's really, really
Mhm.
complicated and really like the Industrial Revolution really was an incredible thing, right? Just wow.
So what have you guys been up to this week? I'm gonna
Oh,
ask
yeah.
again.
I went to Norway.
Oh,
Yeah, you did.
See,
Yeah,
now
you
there's,
did.
there's something.
Tell-
there we go.
Yeah, I went to see Linksy. Norway was fucking awesome.
Who? You
What
see who?
What a
You went to see
Linksy,
who?
friend of
Oh, yeah,
Spine
Link-
Shell.
yes, friend of Spine Chill, Linksy,
Who?
one of our very earliest guests.
That's right.
Yeah, I went to go see her, and my God, Norway's beautiful. Holy
Yeah.
shit! And also, it's so weird. It doesn't get dark there at the moment. So, like at 3 a.m.,
I can't
it's like
believe that.
it's like a nice sunset sky, and you lose track
Yeah.
of time, and that's bad because you just spend all night drinking.
Yeah, I can't imagine being like the sun's still setting. Oh my God, it's 1 a.m. Like I can't imagine that. That's
If you
crazy.
if you enjoy a sunset though, you get to watch it for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
So it's great. Then it just comes back up. You're like, oh,
They probably don't appreciate sunsets over there anymore. They're just
No.
like, it'll keep going for hours.
they're telling me how in the winter though it's the opposite, right? So they just get
Oh, like
darkness,
tiny
forever.
tiny sunsets.
It's
They
kind of
last like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
I grew
it's
up
it's
on
like
all
a
that.
tiny day. Like the day is just a sunset. It just goes, whoop.
Wow.
It's pretty weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
I'll never
Is it-
forget, like, because I lived up in Barrow, Alaska for a while, and it's the same way. It was like 3 months where it's just dark the entire time, 3 months where it's light the entire time, and then like 6 months of it kind of being intermittent. I still remember I was playing like original Xbox. What are those BioWare games? The
Oh, like Knights of the Old Republic.
yeah, the KOTOR, the original one, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
single
yeah.
player. I still remember. That was like the era that I was there when it was dark all the time. I'd just be like playing KOTOR and not even realize like what time of the day it was because it was just pitch black outside, like nighttime black, 24 hours a day.
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
Wow. Yeah, because
I
like
guess-
I mean, in Texas obviously is not really close to the equator, but close enough, and we have just like I would say like a standard, whatever that means, day-night cycle. I haven't really experienced ones like that.
Yeah,
I think the farthest north I've ever gone is probably Glasgow, in Scotland. I don't think I've gone farther north than that
I guess so.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
mean
what's
that's pretty far north though. You know, in the grand
That's
scheme
what's
of
so weird
things.
about Norway. Like, it's not that far away from the UK. It's not that much more north, but like the day
Yeah.
cycle was just so different.
Right. Although,
crazy.
actually, now that we're talking about it, I do remember when we were in Amsterdam for TwitchCon, it being like light out at like 10 p.m. and I was amazed by that. And that's not that high either. But I guess that wasn't that unusual for you guys. But it was strange for me. Yeah.
There is something that like I really envy cultures where like it can be kind of like warm and light still, kind of quite late at night. I think people in the winter in the UK, there's this kind of mentality that like about 6 p.m. after work, everybody's like, oh, it's really dark and it's raining and it's windy. I just gotta get home. I just gotta get inside. And it's kind of nice in other places where it's like in certain parts of Japan at night, it's like, oh, it's still kind of like warm outside. So people like take their time. People are a bit more relaxed. You know what I mean? So it's like not this kind of like, I gotta get indoors and then I'm kind of sleepy. Goodbye, you know, and I just wake up next day for work. It's like, yeah, we'll just sort of like in the middle of Shibuya, even in Tokyo, where it's like summer and people are just like walking around at 10 p.m. just like having a laugh.
Yeah.
It's makes you more chill. Iceland, speaking of being far north though, in Iceland, oh my god, it really does look like in a JRPG where you go to like the corner of the earth and it just looks weird and it's all glaciers and shit. It looks like the world ends there. Like you could
I want
fall
to go
off.
to Iceland. I want to go to.
Yeah.
I
I
want
go
to
there too, yeah.
Me too.
I know why there's so many
Let's do a
like
Spine Chill podcast there.
so many
Iceland
what's it called,
takeover.
Let's visit our fans in
Films that
Iceland.
are
Can you
about-
imagine how angry Romania would be?
Yeah,
Oh,
bro.
yeah,
If our
gotta be
first
Romania
destination-
first, right?
Our first destination potty has to be in Romania. That just has to be.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Episode 100, Romania.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I like that.
Weren't we gonna do a tier list for this one?
Oh yeah, none of
Oh,
us
yeah.
remember that. None of us
Oh,
remembered
yeah.
that. We didn't remember that at all, did we? Did we
We're
tell
gonna do
them we
Resident
were
Evil
gonna do
characters,
that?
weren't we?
Yeah.
We're
I like Chris.
Chris good.
Chris
Leon's
is cool.
bad.
I don't like Leon. Old Leon better than
Wesker
new Leon.
S tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like-
Wesker
Honestly,
S
most
tier,
of them are going like in the S to A tier, aren't they? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, don't we just
Yeah.
like all, don't we
We
pretty
could-
much just like all the characters? Like,
We could still do it another time. We could do it next week.
We'll
yeah,
forget.
there's a lot of side characters, though. It depends on what
Steve.
kind of list we get, yeah. Yeah, where does Steve go? F tier.
Yeah, I'm fine
Steve
with
Steve from Minecraft or
Not even sure who Steve is.
Steve from Minecraft.
See,
Code
this would be the
Veronica.
issue.
Oh, I haven't
Yeah.
played that
that.
one.
He has red hair and he wears like weird straps on his arms because it was the style at the time, and he's like a cocky arsehole.
I
Like a
played
member of
Co-
the APA from WWF. They had the weird arm strap.
But you've not played some of the Resident Evils, Gary, so
No, I haven't played that one.
I played Code Veronica when it first came out. I was just looking up when it came out. 2000?
2002.
2002.
No, it came
yeah.
out on the Dreamcast in 2000. Looks
Oh.
like.
The Dreamcast.
I had it on Dreamcast. Yeah, I played it on
The Dreamcast. I remember when the Dreamcast came out, and we were like, the graphics. Whoa.
Dude, now
Oh
I
my
remember.
god.
I remember my thing for it was that it had a built-in fucking modem, so I could play Madden
Oh,
online.
yes.
I remember being like, because I bought it. Remember, it came out on 9/9/99. Like that was their marketing thing. It was September 9th, 1999. So it was all nines. And I got
Right.
one release day, and I remember being so excited because I could play. And it wasn't even Madden. It was like the NFL 2K before Madden basically shut down. Like NFL 2K is not even a thing anymore because Madden killed it. But back in
Right.
the day, there was like NFL 2K and Madden were like going head to head, and I remember being able to like play online with the built-in modem. I was like, oh yeah, I don't have to buy like an external modem
Right.
for my console. This is so cool.
I
You
just
could
remember
call
like. Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
you could call the plays on your controller. It had like a little LCD screen and it, like would tell
Yeah.
you what the play was. So you got when you were playing with somebody sitting on the couch that couldn't see.
I
the
could do
plays.
that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know that the channels from Sonic Adventure would appear on that as well.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
there was like a Tamagotchi, wasn't it? Where you
Yeah,
could
I
look
remember
from
that, dude. That was so
outside.
cool.
The Dreamcast slapped. What a great
Right.
console.
We gotta bring that shit back.
Just didn't have any
dude.
games. That was the only issue.
Didn't die because they tried to do a deal with Xbox or Microsoft at least, and they went nah.
Yeah.
And they
Oh,
wanted
I
to
don't
try and
know.
like do a crossover where they would like share games a bit more, and then I think Microsoft
for the
said
Dreamcast.
no.
Sorry,
Yeah, I think so. I think I remember reading something about this, and I think they said no, and it just killed the Dreamcast because it had no games.
Man, it's kind of
Choo
crazy
Choo
that they went
Rocket,
from like
Sonic.
Did you-
the Genesis, which had like a million games, to the Dreamcast, where they were just like, "What can you play on it? Sonic Adventure? Okay."
Ikaruga, that game slapped.
Power
I never
Stone.
played that.
You guys ever play Power Stone? Oh, that game
No.
slapped. Oh my god, that game slapped. I bet someone would.
I love how we keep saying everything slaps. Oh, it just all
I'm
slaps.
surprised. Sinner,
just
you
all
never played.
slaps.
You never played Power Stone? It's like a fighting game.
oh no, I've played Power Stone. It's good fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
it's
the
really-
Dreamcast, it's like it didn't have a wide range of games, yeah, for sure, but it did have some pretty good it was kind of like the Nintendo thing where it felt like the games that were like designed for the Dreamcast that were kind of Sega-ish were pretty good, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, the third
Was
party.
was Crazy Taxi a Dreamcast game?
Yep.
yes,
But I think
Yep,
it got
yep.
moved on to something else eventually, didn't it?
Yeah.
Never played that one.
Oh man, I revisited Crazy Taxi right before COVID, like 2020.
Oh, yeah?
I went to Portland, Oregon for a WWE. It was actually an NXT pay per view in Portland, and my buddy is like obsessed with retro games, and so he has like a Dreamcast and like every game that's ever come out for Dreamcast. Like he owns it all. And like we went to this, we rented an Airbnb, and he had brought his kid with him, very young at the time, and so they all went out to go get food and stuff to stock the Airbnb, and they left me at the house with the kid. And me and this kid were playing Crazy Taxi on the Dreamcast. Like it was like, and this isn't like a mod or like an emulator. This is like a physical disc you put into your Dreamcast, like played it on the TV. It was so much fun, dude.
It had the little tiny disc, didn't it? The little
Yeah.
tiny mini
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah, it was little mini ROMs or whatever, mini CDs. I played I revisited Crazy Taxi. We like played it for hours in 2020. It still holds up. It's awesome.
yeah, it's a really good, fun arcade classic. Kind of just easy to play, pick up.
Hmm.
It's got that
Another
Offspring
reason-
song.
Another reason why the Dreamcast failed, which is easy to forget, is the PS2 came out and it was, you could play DVDs on it.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
And that was
Oh.
huge. I think a
That
lot of
was
people were
huge,
like, "Oh,
yeah.
you can just use it as a DVD player as well. Let's just get that."
Is
Yeah,
the
no-
PS2 the greatest console of all time?
Yes.
It's in the conversation.
No,
I think
Maybe
definitely.
we should have done a
conversation
tier
too.
list about games consoles.
Let's do a tier.
we still
I would-
could.
Can we
still
do that?
could.
Let's do it
could.
next. If we're gonna do it, let's do that next week because I
Yeah,
would
let's
love
do
to
it next
talk
week,
about
yeah.
that. I would
Okay,
love to
yeah.
talk about
So
that.
John has
That's
more
something-
time to like set everything up, but yeah,
Yeah,
that would be
because
fun actually.
yeah, because PS2.
so
I
John
think-
can do all the work for us, and then we can just have fun. Yeah.
Isn't the PS2 still the biggest selling console ever?
I think so.
It is, but the Switch is just about to overtake.
Oh god.
Very close.
Sorry, I'm a Switch.
Oh, don't let
hater.
Nintendo buy some PS2s, guys. Come on.
I love how everyone in this podcast is like, "Ah," and we all own a Switch. Like, we're like, oh
yeah, obviously.
We're like,
I
what
own a
did we
PS2
do?
as well, so I did my bit.
I did too.
Yeah, I
I
own a
own
PS2 as
multiple PS2s in my house. I was a huge fan. So, I did.
I would say, well, I'll save that for the console tier
tier
list.
list.
Actually,
I
was
can't
gonna
wait,
say-
dude. I already know we're gonna argue, man.
I mean, Doug, I feel like we might have the same number one.
I bet.
Possibly.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Okay.
Let's talk about. We'll talk about it next week. I think I
Okay.
agree with you though. I bet you're right.
All right.
Okay,
I'm
well.
excited.
I was willing to
I
fight.
feel like I might be a bit more pro Nintendo than you guys in some regards. Obviously, the way that they act as a company now is very like,
Wankers.
let's play. That's just piracy, so that
play. How
shit's
dare
annoying. But I quite like the Nintendo DS, for example.
Yes.
I will.
And the
yeah,
Game
I'll-
Boy Advance.
Yep.
The Nintendo DS is
The
like
Game Boy
basically
Advance.
almost the
Game Boy
exact same
Advance.
as PlayStation 2.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I think I'm a Nintendo fanboy like you are. Like that's the thing. Like I love Nintendo. Like if I had to choose one console,
wouldn't
it would always be Nintendo for me. Like if I
I
had
wouldn't
to
say
pick one.
fanboy.
I mean, that's fair. Did
'Cause-
you guys see? Totally random. But did you guys see Hello Kitty Island Adventures coming out for the Switch? Did you guys see that?
I saw a still image of it. Yeah, so I heard
haven't.
about it, but I haven't.
I haven't
like,
watched
seen
Nintendo
any
Direct
details or
yet.
anything.
I haven't got around to looking at what's on there.
I just looked at highlights. I didn't watch it either.
Yeah, I
Anyways,
didn't watch it. There's too
You
many
didn't see-
game
you-
presentations.
I think I'm a fanboy. Even if you don't want to claim fanboy, that's fine. I'm not ashamed to claim fanboy for Nintendo. I hate the company. They're a terrible company, and they're like the way that they treat content creators specifically is like embarrassing. But
I don't
overall,
think I could
like,
be a Nintendo fanboy when the way that I talk about the Wii and the Wii U is ungodly, quite frankly.
There's
Bro, I
lots
still-
of Wii.
how could you? Oh God, dude. Yeah,
It's
I
a-
feel like you guys are
The
gonna.
Wii
hate
U,
me.
fair
We're-
enough.
we
The
can
Wii.
fight.
What?
The Wii is
What
a
is-
giggly fucking shit baby console for giggly fucking baby idiots.
Oh, it's good though, isn't it?
Wow.
If you're, a
I
big,
can't.
if you're a big giggly fucking idiot, oh, what a
That's-
good
that's-
console.
that's just-
The motion controls don't even work correctly.
Maybe
This
not
is
for you.
made with
Maybe,
plastic
maybe not
and
for
shit.
you, clumsy.
This is-
Yeah, I cannot wait for next week. Okay,
It's a fucking it's a gimmick.
You're a
Plastic gimmick for idiots.
You're a plastic gimmick for idiots.
Real gamers.
Jerk off the Wiimote to win the minigame. Oh, you did it!
That looked a little. That looked.
I'm gonna get
Do you have any good
demonetized
games?
again by Seno.
Hello? Anything good, please? No? Okay. Here's Link's crossbow training.
So hang on, just to be
Alright.
clear, I get bollocks for like talking about shit on a roulette wheel, whereas Sinnoh can do that, and that's
Yeah,
fine.
Sinnoh
that's,
literally-
that's not
yeah.
degrading the podcast at all. That's fine.
Well, my
Let's
impression.
restart.
My
Sorry.
impression has a form of
50!
critique in it. I have a form of cultural critique in what I'm saying. You just think the idea of shit is funny. When I say that, I'm trying to slag off the Nintendo Wii in a cultural critique kind of manner. For you, it's like, imagine feces. Feces! Where it shouldn't be.
On a roulette wheel.
On a roulette wheel? That's crazy! Whoa!
Where it should be.
No wonder you like the Wii. It's you. You're the giggly baby
The
idiot.
Wii! It's in the name! Wii!
Look at it go!
Yeah.
Well, we can
This
fight
is gonna
about
be.
that.
I'm
next
so
time.
I'm so excited.
I
for
mean,
this
I'm
one.
excited
What a
to throw
great
down.
What a great
Yeah.
idea that you guys
Yeah, that's an
collectively
amazing
came up with.
idea.
That's-
I'm
yeah.
excited, and it really suits our variety gaming era as well.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
yeah.
Drone.
I think it'll be fun.
Speaking of variety gaming era, and speaking of us being four dudes, have you guys seen Chained Together? The new Only Up, Getting Over It style game.
I have
I've seen
seen
bits
it.
of it.
Yeah,
I don't know much about it yet.
It's-
I've
I-
just seen it.
yeah,
that
it's where
is-
all 4 players are chained together and they have to get past obstacles together. And
It's
Yeah,
4
yeah.
players.
It can be up to 4 players. Yeah, I watched Queso play it single player, but then I was watching yesterday just for a little while on TikTok Live. Ninja was playing with like Courage and a couple other randoms, and they were. It's like
I was busy.
It's like yeah, I was at the gym. No. So yeah, I was just it's like similar like the Only Up style game or Getting Over It style game, but like you play with up to 4 people and have to coordinate things together. And like if one person falls, then the 3 of you can like hold them on the chain. But if more than one falls, like they all topple, and it's really really entertaining to watch. So and it's only $5.
Yeah, it looks cool.
It's $5 on Steam. It's I'm gonna definitely
Okay.
pick it up, check it out. Looks really fun. Like not you guys know normally I'm like mostly just ASIM player, but like this game really
Really?
caught my. I know. I don't mean to surprise you. This one really caught my attention. I've been watching playthroughs and like I
it
definitely.
is
wanna check
interesting.
it out.
Yeah, I just saw a trailer just the other day. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I can
Okay,
already
I'll-
hear Sinnoh screaming at me.
Yeah, I do
Oh,
think
in
like,
the game.
it
Sinnoh
wouldn't
will
be
be
a
the
bad.
angry one in the group. Absolutely.
You feckless idiot!
He'll be patient at first, but then you'll test him one too many times, Gary.
Yeah.
See, I would
Yeah,
think it would
I'll
be
use a
really
lot
fun.
of like pro social, like, yeah, you're doing great. Oh, it's really easy to be chained to you at first, and then like I'll try and climb something,
really
and you won't be in the
easy
right
to
location. I'm so glad I'm chained to you, Gary, and not anyone else. And I'll make you feel special. And then you'll do like one mistake, and I'm just like, you feckless fucking idiot! I'm trying to climb the fucking mountain. Do you not see that?
The sad thing is that you'll give Gary a shit compliment like it's really easy to be chained to you, and he'll love it.
Oh, he'd love that.
It'll
Of
be-
course,
it'll be
absolutely.
like,
Thank you,
Sinnoh.
So you said I was the easiest to be chained to. I'm validated as a human
Eat
being.
shit, John!
Eat shit, John.
John's hard to be chained to.
What a
John's
nightmare
difficult to
being
be
chained to John must be, but I have a pleasure.
Well, you'd all be chained to me anyway, so.
You like being chained to me most, didn't you, Sinnoh?
I
Didn't
was
you?
your favourite.
I was the easiest one. I was the best one.
You said so yourself, Sinnoh.
Sinnoh? Why aren't you responding? Sinnoh? Sinnoh?
I'm
Can't you
like trying to
hear?
run off into a ravine. I'm trying to end it
Just
all.
hanging,
But you
hanging
can't
off,
because you're chained to me.
hanging off the chain off the side.
What are you doing, Sinnoh? What are you doing? I'm like, I crave the watery abyss. I can't take
I'll
it
join
anymore.
you. I'll join you.
I know.
We
we
can
God.
go together.
Being
Take this
chained to
ro-
Gary in real life. I'm still asleep at like fucking 7:30 a.m. and Gary's like, I'm hungry. Like drags me to the kitchen.
Oh, can you imagine being chained together IRL? Yeah.
Oh, the joys it must be. I wish I could clone myself so I could chain myself to me.
Whoa.
All right.
Okay, that's
So I just passively mentioned ASIMs, and I have some bad news pertaining to ASIMs. It's the only time that I'm going to do this because there really isn't a lot of other news really in the ASIM world, but horrible news. And I know this is going to be hard for you guys to handle and hard to hear, but I'm just going to say it. Last year got delayed. It's not dropping. The
Oh my
4th iteration of last year
God.
is now coming out in October and is going to be $18.
Oh my god, who cares?
Yeah, I thought that
I
would
was
be
preparing to
responsible.
chain my heart to that game.
I know. I know.
$18.
Yeah. So apparently they think that the game's on the 4th attempt to launch is going to be worth $18. Their trailer that came out is not good.
Is that the bad one we saw beforehand?
Wait,
Where
it's
it's
called-
here's a gate.
It's
Forest
a new
Hills or something now?
it's a new bad trailer actually. Not
Oh.
like they're doing new bad trailers now.
Oh.
October 22nd, 1899 USD. Sorry, I wanted to verify that. Yep,
Okay.
1899, October 22nd.
So,
I
okay.
when I watched the trailer on stream last night, and my snap response was, "This looks like a trailer that would get made in a 100 level game design class. Like it looks like something. It's like a school project. It doesn't even look
Right.
like an actual video game. It looks like a school project, like a final.
I kind of want to see it to see how close it is to that now.
Well, I mean, you'd fucking know. I'll send you
Yeah,
the trailer right now. You guys want me to just post it in the group chat?
Oh, yeah,
Of,
sure,
of
yeah,
all
I'll watch it on my phone.
of all the asymmetrical horror games out there, I cannot believe that last year is the one that has been given the longest unnecessary lifespan, just from this company buying it.
Yeah, you guys know me, and I'm like my whole thing is like clinging to dying and dead asyms, and I honestly don't know how they keep getting this game re-released and re-released. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's crazy. I mean, maybe we're about to be blown away by what's about to come in October, but
This is the DVD killer. This is it. Here it is. It's finally arrived. Forest Hills the last year.
And it's like the audacity that they think that they can just resell it. You know, like another $18. Like there are people that have.
Damn, do I have to rebuy it?
Yeah. There are people that bought. There are people that bought the Discord original version. Then they bought the Steam version, right? Now they're going to try and for a third time charge for the game because the third iteration was the old iteration, so you got to keep it if you bought it on Steam.
Right.
Now they got a fourth iteration. That's being the third time they're asking you to pay for it.
That's incredible.
I've just watched the trailer. I was kind of waiting for it to start because I thought it was just all picking up for the trailer. Then it ended.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, there you go. I watched it. It's really short. I'm not buying it.
I probably will.
Of course you will.
I just have to.
$19.
I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it, but how about this? I'm gonna tell you, I'll buy it, but I won't be happy I bought it. I'll be like, I'm gonna automatically be like, why am I doing this? Like, this is for the bit, and then I'll just spend the money. I'm just throwing the money away. I have zero hope that I'm going to spend 19 hours in that video game having a good time, but maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, I'm a firm believer of for $5, if I get an hour of fun, that's a good deal.
See, I like $1.
So this is like a lot. So I'd need 4 hours out of it, but I don't think I'd get that out of the game.
I guarantee I'll get 4 hours. I'll stream it at least once.
No, but 4 hours of fun.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Like 4 hours of content is very different to 4 hours of fun.
Yeah, I just think for me, it's fun to make content on bad shit. I think it'd be kind of fun. I think it'd be really funny if it's as bad as we all expect it to be. It'd be really fun to just shit on it for 4 hours and then never play it again. That'd be really fun. But maybe it'll
play
be
it for 2 hours and then refund it. Maybe.
Ooh, now that's
I never do that with games, but this is just like so bad faith and so like unnecessary to me.
I'll be real with you.
Want to do it.
I'd probably be like more likely to be judgmental of that if they hadn't already charged for the game 3 fucking times. You know, so like at this point,
is it a different developer again, or is it the same ones?
These are the ones that picked it up after. So they had the original developers for Discord, and then they switched developers for Steam, and then
I've
delisted
only bought
it.
it once.
You didn't buy the Discord version. You bought the Steam version, right?
Yeah, I bought the Steam. So it's the Steam version is the one that
they relaunched and you and I played, right?
Yeah, so I didn't pay for it again, but this time they're going to be like,
they're going to charge
it again.
A third time they're charging. It was Discord exclusive when it first ever launched, and you had to buy it from Discord.
On the ill-fated Discord store.
Right.
If they're going to relaunch it as a new price point, why don't they just make a new game with the assets? Why don't they just not call it last year at all? Why don't they just make a different game that's not anything to do with it?
I mean, haven't you noticed that like the characters that they're using are the same ones? Like they're using the exact same survivors and fiends. So I think the point is that they don't really want to recreate anything. They just want to take the old.
Well, then you can't charge me again for it.
Right. I don't know.
You can't be like, we don't want to make anything new, but we want to charge you again for it. No. Make something new.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
Yes, I won't be buying that game. I hope it dies on launch. Fuck them.
I mean, it will. It will.
Yeah,
There's no way.
I think that it's more likely that Resistance makes a comeback than last year succeeds.
I think so too.
I think
Resistance will have more active players than this game. in a couple months.
Probably within a few months, right?
Yeah.
Like right now, Killer Clown still has like a little bit of a player base, and like Texas Chainsaw maintains a healthy player base thanks to Game Pass, which we've seen some numbers leak now. They're like, there's a lot more people playing on console than we realize, like millions of players on console. But at the same time, this one won't even. I can't even imagine this one lasting more than a month. You guys remember when Gary, when you and I first played last year when they relaunched?
Yeah,
that was
like 10 matches. I played through.
Yeah, exactly. That is so us. It's just so us.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I played 3 and decided it was shit, and you played 10 and went, you were right, it was shit.
Yeah, it took me till 10 to be like, you know what? Fair, yeah. And then I never came back to it. And if I never came back to it, that says something. But yeah, I think there was about a week that game had a player base again, and then it was just back to being completely dead.
For our audio-only listeners, Sino has been yawning.
I cannot stop yawning. I'm sorry. I am listening, I promise, but I cannot stop fucking yawning right now.
I mean, it's not like we're talking about...
In the background, like...
It's been like 5 times in the last 2 minutes.
To be fair, we're talking about last year on June 21st, 2024. So like, I could see the yawning. It's like fair.
Do you know what game I wish would make a slight comeback? Puppet Master.
It is back, dude. Like,
Oh, John.
no, dude, John, please. No, I'm dead ass. This game's actually like been kind of growing. It's been like their strategies. Yeah, their strategy is really good because what they're doing is they're just like the devs are like hella active on their Discord, and they really encourage like kind of like a grassroots community type thing. So I know it doesn't sound like much, but the 24-hour peak is up to 25. And like, I know.
What's resistance are? What's resistance are?
But like, listen, in May, they averaged 60 players, and in the last 30 days, they're still averaging 30, which I know. I'm not saying that it's going great, man. But they have like the grassroots, dude. And there's people putting the resistance.
25 is not grassroots.
I'll look up Resident Evil Resistance.
Yeah.
Resistance is average as 27.
25 is a children's birthday party.
Resistance is 27 in the last month. So it's like close.
Resistance is 37 right now with a 24-hour peak of 51.
In like 3 years.
But like, it's Resident Evil. You know, it's like Puppet Master's not a major
Master.
All I'm saying is like they've got like passionate people that are really excited about the game, and they're like
25 of them.
25. Well, there's more than 25. There's 25 at a time. Like, what if they rotate? That could be up to 100, dude. Come on.
I just have better things to do with my time.
I know you do,
But
but I don't.
6-hour shifts.
Fuck yeah, bro.
There's just better things to do.
All right,
There's more fun games to play. There's better things to do.
That's your opinion, man.
ASIM games, it's just like there's so much of the time you just spent like waiting.
I know. I'm looking forward to talking about Resistance because
true.
I really think I've like discovered.
We could talk about it now.
You guys ready to book club it?
Yeah, we could book club it, and
Yeah.
we've got other topics that we can do afterwards too.
Yeah, we got lots to talk about today.
Yeah, we could talk about Resistance. Seems like a natural segue. So
Yeah, sick. Okay.
Doug's book club game was Resident Evil Resistance, and we all got together and played a few hours of it.
Yeah,
Doug's first time.
I had never played it before, so we got to get taught Resident Evil Resistance. And it was myself and Ri-Fi who joined us. He was our number 5, and he and I had never played before. And these 3, to varying degrees, were like expert Resident Evil Resistance players. So we got a chance to experience it with people that were experienced enough to kind of walk us through it. And my overall reaction to it, my overall impression is a very positive one. I do think that it takes itself very seriously. It's very like pretentious. It's like very cool. Like it's not.
Yeah.
Nothing about it is like silly or whimsical. It's like it's a very serious. Serious.
What game were you playing?
No, I agree.
I was dressed like a koala bear.
Okay, well, I mean, you can put on some cosmetics, but
Gary was dressed like a koala bear. Daniel was going like, ho ho ho, I'm French in the background. We were doing silly dances. Disease.
But the game itself. Like,
the game, the atmosphere of the game.
I guess what you're trying to say is like mechanically, it's quite intense.
Yeah, it is. It's like we know that like ASIM games traditionally have a high skill gap. Like they're very complex to start. It's like once you get it. But like there's a learning curve, and this one was like very, very complex. And I think that it's also things about it. Like there are some reasons I think it might have passed away, which obviously the primary one is like that wasn't supported very well by the devs. But I think it always, even
the
if
devs did a great job. It was Capcom. It was the
Capcom,
publisher.
sorry, yeah, you guys are the experts on that whole piece. But I think that even had it survived, it would have definitely been a niche game. It would have had a smaller player. It would have been like Evil Dead style game where there was like a very, very dedicated, diehard fans of the game that would play, and not a whole lot of casual gameplay. A lot of people just slipping in and slipping out.
I slightly disagree just because it's Resident Evil. I think it would have brought people in because it's Resident Evil.
I don't think a lot of them would have stayed. I think there would be like probably like 1 out of every 10 people that came through because like, oh, check out this Resident Evil game, would have just been like, this is a lot.
I've just heard
It's
you
a lot.
describe there being a grassroots support of 25
Yeah.
for Puppet
Yeah.
Master. You're like,
Yeah.
I think Resident Evil Resistance would have struggled to keep a player base.
It would have been small. It would have been a small player base. I just don't think it has a lot of like casual, fun appeal. Like I think it was just again like you either got it or you didn't. You either liked it or you didn't. It's a lot like Evil Dead. It's a lot. I think Evil Dead had more arcadey draw with the survivor role than with Resistance, which doesn't really have an arcade feel about it on either side. Like it just kind of all feels like I don't know. That's just my take for as a brand new player, as a player who's played a lot of ASIM games. I just don't think it would have died. I don't think it would have been an unplayed. I think it would have had a very passionate player base. It would have been a VHS style, like diehard. And that's I feel like VHS fans and Resistance fans are very similar in their like diehard commitment and passion in the game. Maybe even so much so you can say the same thing about Friday the 13th players from the original Friday the 13th run. It's just like I think a lot of it has to do with nostalgia and timing. And again, it's a thinking man's game, and ASIM players aren't necessarily thinking man's players, right? Like your average ASIM player, we've all kind of agreed, wants to pretend like they're really good at a game because they play a game that's not perfectly balanced and they win a lot, right? That's kind of like that's why they don't play fucking League of Legends and they don't play, like ASIM players gravitate towards a game that they can master easier than a game that's actually balanced, right? Is that we've all kind of, and so I don't think that Resident Evil Resistance makes that difficult. So it's a thinking man's ASIM. It's a person that has to actually there's a high execution gap, I think. You can't just be like brain dead and win easily on Resistance. I don't think. Again, I only played it for a few hours, so I haven't got a months of gameplay like you guys do. But is that's fair to say that it's not your average fucking DVD chud's not going to be able to jump on Resistance and mastermind right away.
No, yeah.
It's gonna,
and they didn't.
there is no Resistance version of I'll just tunnel out the first guy at 5 gens and I win automatic.
Yeah.
You have to
There's
actually
no easy
if you did that, you'd have to realize who the weak
slightly
point is.
disagree, only because my existence of mastermind, if somebody is noticeably new, because it didn't really have MMR or anything, then when you kill someone, they lose a lot of time. So you could pick on one person, but because of the respawn mechanic, it's not like the game is immediately over, but especially if somebody was noticeably worse than the others, you could just pick on them and then they would lose all their time and they'd lose the game.
Right.
And in its heyday kind of thing where there was enough of a player base where sometimes a little baby who was rank 3 would be with all the 99s and you could see all the other ones trying to run ahead and you're I'm just going to gun down this baby Samuel in the background. But
so sometimes it was the opposite way around. You get one experienced player and 3 newer players, and they'd run off on their own to go do the objectives. And you'd isolate them. They'd be the best player, but they kind of get themselves screwed by being.
As long as you lock that person down, yeah. But I totally see what you mean, and I totally agree that it's quite an annoying game and it's quite an intense game. So it's not very easy for people to just jump in and be oh, what's going on? If you're against any decent mastermind, all of a sudden you can be getting gunned down and traps on you and bounced around. Or if you're a baby mastermind, it's all your zombies are just blowing up immediately and they're shooting all your cameras out. So it would probably be like VHS where it's people who kind of agree to the unwritten pact that this is a little bit kind of sweaty, or in general it's harder to play this casually.
I think I just don't think it's a very new player or very casual player friendly game right out of the gate, which is important I think for sim games to have that. I don't think the solo queue experience for the average player would be very great when they were just starting out, which again, it's one of those things and Texas Chainsaw suffers from the same problem. And I hear people a lot, people that start getting into the game now are I fucking hate it. I play, and I had a friend, she played at launch and she re-picked up TCSM and was yeah, it took me 10 hours before I had my first minute of fun. It took me like 10 hours of just grinding and practicing and learning so that I could actually.
That is a crazy amount
enjoy.
of patience for not
Right.
having fun.
Right, I know, and
That is
that's
a lot.
and that probably reflects the player base reduction. Right, is that like the average player returning to the game or the average casual player is not enjoying themselves very much, and so. I think that's one of the things that like where you got to find the balance where DBD kind of struck it perfectly for a long time is that like you could still casually have or a new player experience, casual experience can still be kind of fun because it's a very simple concept. See killer, run from killer, throw pallet, do gen, leave. Very simple.
Do gen, leave.
Yeah, exactly. Dude. Resistance is much more complex, which is a good thing, and also probably would have limited the player base in some ways. Like again, Killer Clowns is like a bug-filled fucking mess right now, and it's still hitting. It is, yeah. It's still hitting over 1,000 players a day. Like the numbers are always every 24-hour peak is over 1,000. So like people are playing it, and you can. Oh, I almost fell out of my chair. You can be forgiven for a lot of issues in your game if your game is consistently fun, right? And that's the thing I think the Killer Clowns has going for it, and why it'll maintain for a long time, is that whether you're winning or losing, for the most part, you're usually having a good time. Even there's bugs and weird shit happening. People are having fun with it. It's silly. A lot of people are having fun in voice chat. Again, not everyone's going to share that experience. I saw Gary's face, James. I don't think Gary has fun playing it. But again, I think that the casual average player, especially the average ASIM player, can play and enjoy themselves consistently. Whereas with, like you said, with Texas Chainsaw and with Resistance, I assume anybody jumping into Resistance cold is going to have probably at least a 10-hour window before they're starting to like really feel the game and get it. I
think part of it is the DBD problem, where the ASIM horror fan base is all DBD.
Yeah,
that's the foundation of every single ASIM horror fan is DBD.
Yep.
When they play something else, they need to be able to understand it in a DBD sense. I mean, that's the only language they know. They only know DBD as a language. They need to understand that. That's why most of them do 4v1, for example. Like VHS, you could understand it, and then it was the intricate battle system that would confuse DBD players. They go back to DBD where I can drop pallets. Texas Chainsaw, it's different. So you have to compute it, and if you don't get it, and you know, Resistance is very different. Like it's a big shock to the system. Whereas like Killer Clown's probably more palatable because it is basically the same thing with different player base. Like it's like Friday the 13th, crumbs of that mixed with DBD.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a brilliance in Killer Clowns is like simplicity. Like it's just you have like multiple ways you can get out as survivor, and then there's multiple ways you can kill people as clown, and then nobody ever really like stomps. It took me so long to get the achievements in that game for 7 survivors escaping and for the 7 kills as clown. It took me 30 hours or something to get that achievement. You had to get achievements for getting a 7K basically and getting a 7.
Oh, yeah.
And that really never happens. It's so rare that you have one side actually dominate. And a lot of that I think has to do with the random queues and then like the maximum of 3 people out per escape. So like even if you are 4 or 5 survivors, you can't all get out at the same time. There's just like a lot of things that play into that. And I think that subconsciously, we talked about this with Ghostbusters too, like subconsciously just being told you didn't do bad over and over again, like feels kind of good. Like you can never actually die as a buster in Ghostbusters, right? And no matter what happens, you always make it to the end of the match. You either catch the ghost 4 times or the ghost ends up fully haunting, but nobody ever feels like they didn't get to play. And so no loss ever feels like smothering in Ghostbusters. It's always just kind of like, you guys lost.
Ghostbusters is probably another good example of like the DVD community couldn't quite grasp that it was different, you know? Because that's for me one of the unsung heroes of ASIM horror. I think it's fantastic.
Ghostbusters. It continues to do awesome stuff, man. They got drops going on right now. Well, they're doing a community vote for like what the next ghost is going to be and stuff. It's really cool. What were you saying, John?
Well, I think a lot of these asymmetrical horror games often have more in common with other games than DBD too. Like, for example, Ghostbusters I think has more in common than like with Prop Hunt than it does with Dead by Daylight, and that's where it loses me because I don't like Prop Hunt. I don't like playing that game mode in Gmod or anything like that. Oh, bye, Sino.
Oh my goodness, that's such a cool shirt. Yeah. He's got such a nice shirt today.
This conversation's boring, Sino. First the yawn. then the
Show the
slip
class.
out.
Welcome
Show
back,
the class.
welcome back, Hollywood. How was your
I'm sorry,
vacation?
I forgot to get my Coke Zero. I wanted to go get it very quickly.
No.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
I wanted to listen to enough of what John was saying that I could understand the gist of it, but I was also like, go quick.
So basically,
That's enough of John. I'll get my drink now.
I've heard enough.
So
we
it's
all,
like,
we
yeah,
all
yeah,
know.
yeah, I get it. I get it.
We all
Okay,
know
well,
where he's going.
my
We all know where
point's
he's
been
going.
made.
Yeah.
My point's been made. No need to make it.
No, come back.
Carry on, John.
Mentally come
before-
back.
No.
Before you were rudely interrupted.
Spiritually.
Yeah, please
I
sit
was
over.
intrigued to hear the rest.
No, I want to hear. Promise.
So why don't you finish my point for
Yeah,
me?
Sino, finish this point on Ghostbusters. What was he trying to
when
say?
people do
buddy?
the whole like, what did I just say thing, and you're like, you just said Sino is really cool and great, and I like his opinions.
That only ever works
Shaking
when
his
it's
head. Why
only
is
works
this?
when it's me. Only works when that's me, Sino.
Yeah, that's true. You're like, I didn't say that, but I think it. And you're like, yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
Gary. Thank you.
I think, like, in the case of Ghostbusters, it has more in common with, like, Prop Hunt than it does with DBD. And I think with Resistance, to a certain extent, it has more in common with, like, frankly, like, the Resident Evil games on the Survivor side. And with, I would say, like, almost real-time strategy games on the Mastermind side.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
very, very different from DBD. So, yeah, I mean, it is different, but I would say the problem is less that it's different from DBD and that it's more like playing some of those other games that maybe they're not as
Well, I think
interested in.
that's what I kind of mean is like the genre is defined by DBD, so anything that tries to move away from that simple base, that foundation that is DBD, struggles because a player picks up the game and goes, "This isn't DBD. I don't like it."
Right. Yeah. I think
really need.
from my perspective, it kind of comes across like it's like a watered down version of a better game a lot of the times. Now, I'm not saying that with Ghostbusters, but or even with Resistance, because I think those are interesting hybrids. But I think it can come across like that sometimes.
I wanted to ask in particular about John's opinion about Resistance because I feel like you respect what Resistance tries to do, but you don't really enjoy playing it.
I don't.
Yeah, I need it.
I think
It's
that's
funny.
like I don't think you completely are just like, what a piece of shit, this game's dumb.
No,
right?
no, absolutely
But
not.
It's
I
like
really-
every time
yeah.
you've played it, you've kind of bounced off it, and I wanted to hear you talk about like why that is.
Yeah, so I think Resistance is a incredibly unique game. Like, there's no other game I've played like it. The Mastermind gameplay, even the Survivor gameplay, they did such a great job of making it feel like, co-op Resident Evil, like Outbreak, but PvP. And they had the cards and everything. I just really like the design and the ideas behind it. I would say, to mirror what you said earlier, but the game is very annoying though. And I'm not sure I can like pinpoint exactly what annoys me so much about it, but playing Mastermind in that game pisses me off.
I can
And I
pinpoint
get-
that.
Playing as the Mastermind in particular.
Playing as Mastermind
Okay.
pisses me off. And I would say, on the Survivor side, there are certain things that the Mastermind does that piss me off. Things that aren't just like, anytime the Mastermind does something that's not like spawning zombies or something like that, anytime I get like poisoned or a gun comes out and shoots me or something, I'm like, that kind of kills the whole vibe for me. But sorry, go ahead, Gary.
I was gonna say like it's because like there's lots of I'm gonna be that guy into like UX again. But for example, when you're playing the Mastermind and your camera starts getting shot, you lose agency. You're no longer in control. Your camera's getting shot. It goes out. You can't play.
Yeah.
And that's really frustrating from the Mastermind side. It's probably the weakest point about it is that loss of agency. And the same thing kind of occurs on the Survivor side, where you're saying you're getting poisoned. There's not really a lot you can do about the poison thing. We played one round where I brought a poison deck by accident. Like, I didn't really know what it was going to do. And you guys just got annihilated because you were just coughing all the time because you couldn't do anything because there was just so much poison.
Right.
Which was a deck likely built for a sweat squad.
I would
Like-
kind of agree with you, Gary, but I think it's not just that those strategies are like, because like for having your camera shot out, there's a card where you play a shield and your camera's fine. And with poison, there's ways to get rid of the poison and keep on top of it. But it's like when, in those two examples, when they're doing it to you, the Mastermind or the survivors, it's like you lose control in particular. It's like when your camera's being shot, it like shakes and you can't move it anymore. And when you're coughing, your character could be like aiming, you're shooting at zombies, and then your character stops and coughs and you can't
That's what I
run
mean.
anymore.
Like you lose control.
Yeah.
Your agency drops and it's like,
So if those mechanics existed, but it didn't feel like you immediately like, obviously there's shooting the camera out is like a way to prevent the mastermind for a period of time from doing something, and poison is a way to like tick up on survivors to win overall. But it's like they attach these mechanics that like the control of it is like, oh, now I've lost control of my character because they keep coughing randomly, or now my camera's shaking like this and I can't move it and then I get shot out. It just like feels really bad because you're constantly like being interrupted. And it's like, I wish that they like tone that down. So it's like, yeah, poison as a strategy, but only at like the highest level of poison does your character occasionally cough. Not like as soon as they start getting it every couple of seconds, they're like, and then you can't do anything.
And every time you can't do anything when you're coughing, you don't really notice, but you're losing time.
You're losing time, yeah.
Yeah. You do.
So
You get used to it if you play it a lot, but it always feels a bit gross. It's like pestering, right? When you're trying to do something and something's constantly making your character just like, oh, I'm not doing that, sorry.
It actually reminds me, because we were just talking before this podcast started, we were talking about, me and John have just recently played Bioshock again. And I'd like to, there's one bit that I was playing, and you know when you, because we've all played Bioshock, right?
Yeah.
There's that bit where you have to take some enzyme thing and it screws with your powers, your DNA changes, and you're no longer in control of your plasmids.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's towards the end of the game, yeah.
Really interesting. A nice little twist. But when you're trying to shoot something and it goes, your plasmid changes, and suddenly you're holding your hypnotized Big Daddy thing and you're no longer got your gun out, that fucks you off. And that's the same thing that Resistance is full of. Like, on both sides, you're constantly having your ability to shoot interrupted, your ability to use your cameras interrupted. That's before you start getting grabbed by zombies and stuff, which you can't do. You need to rely on your teammates to deal with. There's lots of moments where you lose control of your ability to play the game, which I think that's where the frustration probably comes from.
It's funny. It's totally random connection, but World of Warcraft PvP arenas. That's the whole reason I got into Twitch in the first place. Is I was really obsessed with PvP in WoW, and I've been following like since the heyday. Like Mists of Pandaria was like kind of when I got really into Twitch and really was watching streamers, and that's always been the complaint. Like since back then, I remember people like, I don't want to lose control of my character, and that was a huge thing in Heroes of the Storm as well. Is a lot of the metas involved like loss of control of your character, and so I was like, it was one of those like, I just want to be able to play the game and feel like I'm playing the game, because anytime I lose control of my character, lose control of what I'm doing, now it feels like I'm just sitting and waiting. Like
agency is like super important.
So I think that maybe control. Like and so maybe that's where
killed
like
the end of Overwatch 1.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
all the tank players were like, I'm constantly getting shoved around by Brigitte and all this shit, just constantly. I don't mind it if there's like, it exists, but it has to be very, very sparingly applied. Like, resistance is just, there's too many things that like can knock you over or interrupt you, so it becomes frustrating. And it's like,
step on
if
these.
a character, all my zombies are stunned and I'm stunned. It's like, if you're gonna have that in the game, it has to be like really rare that only like one or two characters can do it, because it very quickly becomes just like frustrating to play otherwise.
Yeah, like
especially
Heroes
PvP games.
Heroes for the most part, like alt became the most thing, right? Or it was like specific characters, like a Nubarak would be really good at shutting a character down and stunning them.
Oh, the Cocoon.
The Cocoon, or like the Borrow Underground. That was like
his whole kit. Yeah, his whole kit was like
everything was stuns with a Nubarak, so you just knew that you had to be wary of that. Whereas in Resistance, every character can basically come with a build that just shuts a mastermind down, and a mastermind can bring a build that just makes everyone's life miserable. Especially with Nikolai.
That's a good point too, because like there are characters in other multiplayer games that have kits that involve loss of agency, but like you can prepare for it if you know that's what you're facing, right? If you're going up against a Roadhog, in Overwatch, he's going to try and hook you and pull you in, so you adjust your playstyle accordingly. But with like Resistance, maybe just like it's just such a core part of everyone's gameplay is to just remove the opponent's agency.
When it was just the sweaty squads that were left playing it before like it started to proper die. Every match was just suffering. Like everyone was using the guns and playing like the Nikolai bullet hell like as the mastermind, and everyone was playing like the sweat squads that would just take your cameras out before you could do anything. I mean, Sino, you remember better than anyone, I'm sure.
I had a build as Alex. I only used traps and poisoning people. I wouldn't summon monsters, because if you kill monsters, you get time back.
Right.
And it was basically in particular, I had a thing where you could put a trap down and it would like immediately activate, rather than like it has like a period of time where it won't go off, because otherwise that's kind of bullshit. But I made it so that they would immediately activate, and then you get like an air cannon thing as the mastermind, so you hit people and it makes them fly backwards, so they would fly backwards into mines, and then the mines would poison them, so they'd start coughing. And I was like, I can win with this, but is it a terribly fun
But at
way
what
of playing the
cost?
game?
Right.
Probably
Yeah, so
not.
you came
know?
up with some very,
See,
very evil shit in
And
that
see-
game.
and see, Sino, this is why you're not an ASIM person. Is because you just had that internal thought, right? Where you said, I can win with this, but at what cost? And you chose not to do it. Whereas the average ASIM player, especially in the killer role, power role, would be like, I can win with this.
I mean, speaking
And
of, do we talk about DBD's masquerade event?
Yeah, do we? I mean, if unless you guys have more you want to say
Well,
on resistance, we could.
Yeah.
We could. This would be another way we could
Segue.
segue
Well-
into the Twisted Masquerade, or as I like to call it, Hell on Earth. Go on.
I mean, I'd like to ask
yeah.
Doug, like, what was your? So you've given us kind of your overall thoughts, but like, remember when we did our asymmetrical horror tier list back in episode 40? It was before Sinnoh joined. I
Yeah.
believe we put Resistance in A tier, or
I
But
think we
that's
might
how
have
it
given.
was.
I think it made S. I think we gave it S.
Okay.
I think I relented on S. And I would say I don't think I would like be upset about keeping it an S or at a minimum high A, because again, as an ASIM connoisseur, you have to give credit to the overall package of the game. Like, you can't knock it down because, oh, this game was really hard to learn. Like, that doesn't matter. VHS was hard to learn. I still go on record as saying I think VHS was the best ASIM that's ever been made. It was the most balanced. It was like both sides had the most agency, that had the most fun. Like, again, it was a very high skill cap, very difficult game to get into. The UI had a lot of problems, and the devs were the worst that I've maybe ever seen in ASIM. And that even includes last year continuing to try and release their game over and over again. But all that said, I would still rank VHS as the best core ASIM game. And again, with Resistance, I would say absolutely can't argue with the quality of the game. I guarantee you, if I had played it at its peak, I would have loved it. I would have gotten super into it. I would have figured it out. But again, like I said, I think, did I mention it before we started recording or after that? I had a friend who started playing Texas Chainsaw, and she said it took 10 hours before she started having fun.
Yeah.
I think that would be a similar with a Resistance player. If you picked up Resistance, it would probably take 10 to 15 hours of actually playing the game and learning before you'd start having a good time, because it's not casual friendly, it's not brain dead friendly. And then ASIM kind of relies on brain dead friendly to like be.
Especially because like you guys got to experience what it'd be like to join Resistance as a new
Yeah.
player. Because I went,
Yeah.
my brain automatically went into just playing like
Yeah.
sweaty. My brain just remembered how to be a dick.
Yeah.
And I did it. I
Got
just
slaughtered.
did it with that horrible poison build. Like, and you guys got
Right.
slaughtered like in the first or second room. Like, it was like, what could you
the
do?
first room?
Yeah.
And
We
then
didn't really
Sinnoh-
have to even do very much.
yeah, and then Sinnoh, you had the same problem. You were like, it's hard not to just
Win.
go into mastermind mode and just be like, I'm going to torture these guys because I can.
Yeah, I felt like, I mean, Ryan didn't even have Resident Evil 3 bought
Yeah,
before
he
we
did.
said this. Like, I think Ryan's very new to Resident Evil games in general, so
Mm-hmm.
you know, there was two people on the Survivor side, for example, that were still like kind of picking up the controls. I know you've played a bit more, Doug, but
Yeah.
I think it's quite overwhelming, and there's a lot going on. So it was really difficult not to summon a couple of zombies and then be like, okay, I'm just gonna do like a kind of moderate attempt here, and it's like, oh, I've actually killed two people by mistake.
Yeah.
Whoops. And I didn't want to go too ham because I wanted you guys to experience the game rather than being like, well, we didn't make it out of Area 1 again.
It's just a hard.
It's,
It's just a hard.
It's really hard to like not just do that.
It's just a hard game. It's a hard game to learn, and it's a hard game to go easy on. And it's probably like, again, if game balance has taught me anything in ASIMs, like, you had to play Vicious as mastermind, because 4 people executing perfectly are usually going to have the advantage of a 1 person executing perfectly. So yeah, it's just, there's a lot of moving parts, and
Yeah, I
then
think the second John shot out one of my cameras, I was like, and it all comes flooding back.
yeah. I just think
Right.
I think the skill ceiling on the game is very high, and I think that a lot of, and then the learning curve is very steep. Can't argue with the fact that the game it's a beautiful looking game, and the Resident Evil feel
The
is there.
engine's great.
It feels like you're playing a Resident Evil ASIM, which is like awesome, right? And I can see it's like, did I have a great time playing with you guys? I had a great time spending time with you guys, and I had a great time learning and stuff. But like, I think that I would have a great time if I kept playing, because I think that it just takes figuring out and getting your comfort zone. Because I even 3 hours, for however long we played, even at the end, I was still like, it was just still
Right.
a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer that the way that the game would have been updated would be very different if Capcom treated it like a game that was supposed to have a future properly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think they would have
Yep.
taken the game in healthier directions, but instead the dev team were like, Capcom's told us that we aren't allowed any new assets, so we have to just like constantly retool this stuff until the project is finished.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. Like, what risk is there in Capcom allowing them to put Carlos in the game or Hunters or whatever? Like, I don't
Also,
understand what the downside is.
Just to defend the game, I don't think there is a tutorial in the game, like a fleshed out tutorial, and none of us did it.
Yeah.
Like, before we played it again.
True.
Oh yeah.
So just to defend it, because like I know like Killer Clowns is fairly easy to understand, but and TCM, but they have shit tutorials, whereas at least Resistance has a tutorial.
True. It's not just reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have
That's
to
true.
play the game.
Tutorial in Asym is always funny. It's like, yeah, you guys are going to cover about 10% of the game in the tutorial, which is like good for a foundational thing, but like there's just so much.
And again, it has that difficulty of like DVD's the foundation. It's very easy just to understand DVD. And
yeah,
people.
and that
I don't
DVD
like reading.
Yeah, DVD coming into Resistance as a DVD player since 2016. DVD taught me nothing that I can use. You know what I mean? Like Resistance is like
It's
still
the
like
same genre, but it's a completely different.
It wasn't
game.
like when you jump into prop night and you're like, oh, I got this. I play DVD.
Yeah.
Like, no, fuck
Right.
no. Like Resistance is a complete. And I played, 1,000 hours of Evil Dead, and which is I think it's a way better direct comparable to Resistance, and it still
It
taught
is.
me
Yeah.
taught me
I agree.
basically nothing about how to play Resistance. Like it's all brand new, which isn't it's not a negative. That's a good thing. I think that the genre could use more of that.
That's an interesting thing. Is like Prop Night is probably the best one because it's just DVD with one extra layer.
Yeah.
Whereas everything else, Resistance, VHS, TACM, they all add more than one layer.
I've figured out something about myself when it comes to Asym. And it's almost like a cell phone, but I don't really care. I just like, this is who I am as a person. So I realized the reason why I love Identity V so much, because I've really gotten into Identity V, is that it's like an actually simpler version of DVD. Like they've actually simplified the game even more. And I was like, maybe I'm the fucking meathead that needs the game simple that I'm always talking about. Like, because I love DVD and I enjoy Texas Chainsaw and I enjoy Killer Clowns, but Killer Clowns is fairly simple. And I gravitated towards that right away. Identity V, very even simpler than DVD. Like a lot of stuff is like your hand is held a lot in that, And I was like, man, maybe it's just like the simplicity is what's so attractive. It's just like it's very cut and dry. The stuff like the meta is very simple in Identity V. Everybody's got basically got the same perks. Like everybody's got adrenaline, everybody's got NOED. The doors are always highlighted, shit like that. It simplifies DVD down even more. There's less variables in Identity V, which makes it like more attractive to me, I think.
I'll tail off the Resident Evil Resistance discussion with some numbers here.
Sure.
So
hit us, Professor.
First of all, I'm gonna brag a little bit because you can go on RENet and see your stats. So for the PlayStation 4 player base, kind of became where the game was more popular. I didn't have crossplay.
Yeah.
I did 210 experiments as a net, and my success rate was 82%, which is kind of bonkers, actually. I didn't realize. So I won 82% of the time, which is like, it's kind of what people in DBD feel like. Yeah, this game's balanced.
Very
it's like they don't realize that they're winning like, all the time, basically.
I'm on a 150 win streak.
Yeah.
All of my masterminds
were above 80%, actually, apart from Nikolai, who's at 93%, but we don't talk about that. I shouldn't be pleased with that. But I looked at the world records, actually, to see how many people have played in the last week. And apparently 3,000 people played in the last week.
Wow.
Across the world. What? And it had... This is why I think it's a little bit crazy that Capcom didn't support the game more. Overall, 1.1 million people have at least tried Resistance.
Wow.
Yeah, so can I just pause for 1 second, can cut in. I think that we as a collective greatly underestimate how many console players these games actually have. And we've always talked about, because I've always talked about back when I was coping really hard about Texas Chainsaw, I was going to blow back up. And I was like, oh my God, like there's almost always console players. It's got to be at least like, so whenever because the PC numbers were down to like the 200-300 range at one point on Texas Chainsaw. And we were like, I was like, well, that's at least doubled by the console player base. They had leaks drop out of the stats for Texas Chainsaw, and give me 1 second, I'll tell you guys. I have them here. Damn, where are they? Here it is. All right. So Texas Chainsaw player count, all platforms. Steam players 1,237 in the last hour. Xbox and Xbox Game Pass 1.4 million in the last hour. Texas Chainsaw Massacre has lost 15,000 average players over the last 30 days. And then the Twitch watch hours are down to 572,000 over the last 30 days. And the peak viewers over the last 30 days was 8,400 on Twitch. So again, there's literally millions of players still playing on Xbox and PC Game Pass daily.
Yeah.
So like the game is doing fine. They have 1,100 people in game right now. In terms of like raw player numbers, PC is like dwindling and dwindling and dwindling. And I know I saw a lot of tweets where people were like, well, it's obvious if the PC numbers are dwindling, then I'm sure that trend is continuing on console. And then the leaks came out. It's like, well, that's actually not. Like console players are still continuing to play the shit out of the game. So, you know,
Right.
I would wonder like how much money there is in that for them in the long term, because Evil Dead, for example, died.
Yeah. No argument from me there.
Yeah.
I don't know how much money they're
but
making.
it's good they've got good numbers though.
Yeah,
it's things.
And that's the question though. That's what we have to. It's like that's the stuff we don't know, right? It's like how many of those people are buying skins and cosmetics? How many people are like funding the game? Because I always say that about Ghostbusters. How is Ghostbusters? How do they still have?
I have no idea how they keep going.
How?
Yeah.
How? They have weekly dev streams. They have roadmaps coming out. They're like one of the only ASIMs with roadmaps. There's no DLC. There's no store. They keep releasing their content for free. It's like, are they literally selling that many copies on console? Because nobody you play and I went against the other night. I was playing Ghostbusters for like 5 or 6 hours, but I went against full PC teams like twice, and then the rest of the time it was all console, and the majority was the fucking Switch. Like Switch is like the game's blown up on Switch.
I could see that working for Ghostbusters.
But is that how they're making money? Are they just selling crazy copies on Switch? I could see
that working on Switch.
I guess, yeah. But it just seems like, because there's no monetization. Like Texas Chainsaw, it's like, well, are they selling DLCs? Are they selling, because they sell their pricing is insane for like even for the cosmetic packs, like $8, right? I bought Hans and Maria, the new update, $17.99 on sale. It was like if you bought them together, it was almost $20 to get the new characters.
I mean, I suppose we'll see what happens with Texas Chainsaw, because they did say that they were going to reevaluate like 6 months ago. So
yeah.
All right.
We'll see what their reevaluation will look like in 6 more months, I guess, or whatever.
$17.99 for the 2 new characters. The new characters are in every match, so people are buying it. That's what I'm saying. Like people are buying. Yep, they're buying the DLCs. I don't know. Yeah, it'll be very interesting to keep following because it seems like they keep on adding to the game. And their first major patch. I know you guys I won't stay on this topic, but their first major patch with the new devs was really solid. It was really solid. It was really.
Where they like walked back some of the
dumb shit that made us all not want to play it anymore.
Yeah. Still not great.
Yeah, they were finally getting rid of the random perk thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Almost a year after it was introduced, and they were like, "This shit ain't changing."
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. They finally saw the light. I mean, I think I'm one of those people in life that tries very hard to remember that just because I don't like something doesn't mean it's not successful. Or there's plenty of things in life that I think are quote unquote well made and good, but I just don't personally like them. But it doesn't change that.
Yeah.
I think we could see with TCM, it's like it might end up having this kind of like dedicated player base, even if I found that the core gameplay loop of it was not that fun after a while, personally. But yeah, there's a same thing happened with Resistance and quite a few other things where sometimes it just ends up like the console player base sticks with it for like a longer period of time. I wonder why that is. I don't know if it's like people who play on console tend to they buy less games in general and they just like stick to a few maybe.
That's what I would theorize. I think when you're on PC, it's really easy to just pick up games for Steam and stuff.
Yeah,
or like
sales
CD keys or whatever. There's always sales.
Wow.
Whereas on console, it feels like it's a much bigger pain in the ass to buy a new game on the PlayStation Store. You gotta put your password in, and you gotta like buy the game, and the UI sucks on it. Yeah, you fucking around.
Type in your password, your 80 password, and the fucking controller. Yeah,
or you can just flick to the side and click on the game that's already installed.
And they always
because on console you have to use your Wi-Fi to install the fucking game, which takes 20 hours.
Well, it's like this.
40 gigs now.
It's like this, right? So Predator Hunting Grounds is having this resurgence, and they're like going to release it on Xbox and next gen consoles, and like they got new DLC coming. And that was a game they put on PlayStation Plus. If you're subscribed to PlayStation Plus, you get like a free game every month. And at one point, Predator Hunting Grounds was a free game. And I think what happens is these console Andes will just literally, when there's a free game, no matter what, they just download it. Like, I'm going to get it now. Once you get it, you got it. And so then they'll just like, people will go through these phases where they'll like just get really into like Predator because they got it for free. And it's like, there's no there's no downside. They got the game for free. They play it and they dump a bunch of time into it. And then it's like, I got the game for free. I might as well buy a couple of Predator DLCs and get like a cool skin, right? And so I feel like that's how
at a certain point you go, oh, they've earned some money off you, like a mobile game. You're like, oh, I've put 10 hours into this game.
Yeah.
They can have a couple of pounds.
Exactly. And that's how Ilphonics like scams us all. they get these mediocre to above average solid ASIM games and they're just like, have them for free.
Robbing us.
Yeah, have them for free. Console. Anyways, we're gonna release this, and then they live forever. They just support. They just triple down on supporting these little games. I think it's like Ilphonic is the light in the darkness of like this era of gaming where like everybody's doing layoffs and they're always trying to squeeze every penny out of their customer base. And Ilphonic is like, we're fine with the game just being okay, being solid, having a solid amount of people. Like I would assume they're not getting rich off Ghostbusters and Predator Hunting Grounds, but they're but they just launched Killer Clowns. Like they're continuing. Obviously, what they're doing with those games is working for them because they just launched Killer Clowns and they're like taking on another.
I think they have a very passionate squad.
Yeah, another ASIM project, right? And so I just don't think. Yeah. I think that they're not trying to be DVD. They're not trying to be the next big thing. They're just trying to make fun games that people like to play that make a little bit of money. You know what I mean? They got their devs on. Devs are on stream every week playing the game for the fun of it to like 30 people on Twitch. They don't have a huge cult following or anything, but they still do it every week. Every week they do a dev stream where they play their game on stream and just like have fun. I think they just like what they do and they're just passionate about the games that they make and they're more than happy to just get by and do fine. They don't have to.
the book club though.
Oh yeah, Resident Evil.
What's it gonna be for the next week? Next week, next time.
Oh, next week.
Not next week, sorry, but next
Who's
time.
me? It's my choice.
It's John's time.
Yes. Okay, I will reveal it here. So. My pick for book club is a brand new title.
Oh my god!
Just came out a couple days ago.
Oh, I think I don't know what it is.
And I've been playing it myself, and I think it is an interesting game that would be good to discuss next time on the podcast. It's Still Wakes the Deep.
I just got an email from them to like, because they're going to be at I think the publisher's going to be at TwitchCon.
Oh really?
So I'm going to go like say hello to them at some point.
That's cool.
Yeah, that game looks interesting as fuck.
Yeah, so it's a game, just a little bit of background, no spoilers or anything, but it's a game developed by Chinese Room, which is the same developer who made Amnesia: A Machine for Pigs, which came out 10 years ago. They started off making Half-Life 2 mods, specifically one called Dear Esther. And the funny thing is that I didn't care for Dear Esther, and I didn't care for Machine for Pigs. But, you know, this game I think is worth playing. This new one, Still Wakes the Deep game.
It's a survival horror? Like,
I mean, it's a horror game, yeah. Yeah.
Is it like I kind of got the vibe it was like a survival game, like, you know, Subnautica.
It is not a survival game.
Okay, it's not like that.
No.
Okay.
No survival elements whatsoever.
Oh, okay. My bad.
No.
I haven't watched I just seen some little pictures and I was like, this looks cool.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
It's heavy on atmosphere and narrative.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My favorite.
It's not very mechanically intensive, so don't expect
not mechanically intensive, Doug.
Yeah. It is it will be easy to play, I would say. But we'll see. It depends on
I'll like it, probably, John. I don't know about these two, but I'll probably
I'm gonna
it.
like. I'll probably like it.
I mean, if you get.
What is that?
I'm fully prepared for some of you to like it and some of you not to like it, or to like some things about it but not others. But I just think it'll be fun to talk about.
Yeah, you just don't like Forgotten City one time, and now you'll never like anything again. That's crazy. I'm sure I'll like it just fine.
How did John's last pick go for you, Doug?
Silvio is way better than Forgotten City. I'll say that.
Damn. And you didn't like Silvio either.
I do now. Now that I played Forgotten City.
For the purposes of this spiteful conversation, sure. Yeah, but I think I haven't beaten the game yet. I've been playing it. It's not too long either. I think it's like 3 to 4 hours long.
So yeah, it says 4.5 on how. It says 4.5 on how long to beat. So for the main
perfect.
For me, it'll probably be 6 or 7, but you guys will crush it. 4.5.
Yeah.
Oh, I might play that. Oh, I'll play that before TwitchCon.
When is
I can go there? Then I can go to TwitchCon and be like, please give me merch. I like your game. Or I can be like, nah, you can keep it.
Yeah. Solid pick, dude. I can't wait to play it. I'm excited.
Yeah. All right.
Is it good?
Cool.
Is it you've been playing it? Is it, you think it would be a good stream game, or is it more of a sit and play in the dark on your own kind of thing? What are your thoughts on it?
I don't know. I think there's advantages to both. I think sitting and playing in the dark is definitely gonna be a lot more immersive. But I think it's also, it seems like it's entertaining to watch game is what the feedback I've been getting as well. So I don't know.
Well, I'll probably stream it. That sounds like because I want to play it anyway.
So
Yeah.
it depends on your audience, I guess, as well, right?
Yeah, true,
Yeah.
true. Yeah, but I think it's fun to watch, honestly.
Sweet.
And I'm excited because it's set in Scotland, so a lot of them have.
Never
Is
mind.
this before? Is it before or after Scotland was added to the UK?
So a lot of them have really strong like Scottish accents and stuff, and I'm looking forward to not.
I think you
having
didn't
it-
hear my question again tonight. It's crazy.
Oh no, I heard it, and it like. No, I heard your question. I just
know you did.
chose not to answer that.
Oh no, I don't deserve it. It's true.
You know, it'll be interesting to hear
I'm
Simo's opinion on the game,
Yeah.
considering how much Scottish is in the game. Like, there's like all the characters are Scottish. They speak with a very thick Scottish accent the whole time. So
Some of the characters have Irish accents, and I know a lot of people probably haven't caught that as well, though. Like I could tell when there's like an Irish or an English character on the screen, but I'm sure a lot of the Americans playing it are just going to be like, "Oh, all these Scottish people." And it's going to be like an Irish person speaking.
all the ignorant
that's part
fucking
of fun.
Americans.
I'm gonna play a game where when I play it, I'm gonna try and put them all into the Irish or the Scottish camp, so I can be like, right, which ones did I get right?
That's
No,
so fun.
you'll be fine, Gary.
I know I will, but
You'll
I like
get
I just want to win.
But you could do this thing. I just want to win. Fair. You could do this thing though, where like the subtitles. John was telling me, you can have them where the subtitles translate when they use like a Scottish phrase into like a different like common, so to speak, English, or you can have the subtitles just stay as they are.
Oh,
Yeah. So there's
So-
there's two options. There's English, which is American English, and then there's English parentheses UK, and that'll
do that.
keep the slang in the. In
I'm
the
gonna keep the
subtitles and
slang
everything.
because if I don't know what it is, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have a guess.
Yeah,
Do you know what scunnered means, Gary?
Say again?
Scunnered.
No idea.
Oh, I need to watch you play this then.
I mean, you can pick it up from context clues. There's
Scunner?
one character that was just like you fucking numpty, and I was like,
Oh,
I,
yeah, numpty.
I think
I
I
know
can
what
figure
numpty means.
out
Must mean a
what
good
numpty
thing.
means. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's complimented me.
Scunnered.
You said I'm pretty.
Scunnered sounds like a high school bully's name, like Scunnered Ferguson or something like that. Like,
Fergus.
that's definitely like a high school bully's name. Scunnered. I'm calling that.
Scunnered sounds like you're like a shit wipe.
Oh,
Why does he
not
say-
again with the
He
feces?
always brings it
Gary.
back to
There's
feces,
one.
Gary. You're ruining our 50th anniversary with all the poop talk.
There's this one character that calls your character a gobshite like 10 times.
What a classic. What a
He says
classic.
it all,
Gobshite.
he says it all the time.
I'm bringing
Gobshite is an
Gobshite
Irish
back.
thing, by the way.
Can we bring
probably
Gobshite?
not right.
Is that a thing? I'll start saying Gobshite. I like that.
Gobshite's
Yeah.
great
That's
though.
great.
Gobshite. I'm looking it up.
Just be wary. No, you'll be fine if it's on Twitch. They use the C word because it's
They
Scottish,
use the C word constantly.
and
Yeah.
YouTube doesn't like that.
It's not the C word.
But it's bad.
C word. That's right.
Gobshite is chiefly Irish slang, but is used by people throughout the British Isles. Okay.
Yeah, I just-
Throughout
trying
the
to
British
pass.
Isles.
I was
Hello, do
younger,
you
mostly.
gobshite? Hello, sir.
All right,
That's how I do. That's how I usually say hello to my mum. Right, Gobshite.
All right,
Yeah,
good afternoon.
gobshite.
And she starts crying, obviously.
Yeah. Obviously.
I've given birth to a monster.
It's funny because recently, like, I've been playing Still Wakes the Deep, and I've been playing Sketchy's Contract, which we've been going underwater a lot in that game. And I also recently revisited Bioshock.
Oh,
where you go
wow.
underwater in that game. So
Underwater
very similar
theme.
So
underwater
is it
games.
time to play Soma again, John?
Yeah,
So,
but-
John, have you seen the thing? The Makeshift are doing like I decided not to buy it because I don't think it's worth it. But Makeshift are doing like you can get a Simon toy, a little plush.
Mm-mm. No, I haven't seen that.
I'll send you the link for it in case you want it.
Do you guys
okay.
actually like Soma?
Yeah, Soma's my favorite horror
Oh,
game.
I
I've
love
never,
Soma.
I've never played it. Do I need to play
'Cause-
it?
When I played it, I got really bored of it, but I feel like I need to give it like another chance. I feel like I maybe wasn't in the right mindset. and
Did
I
you
need to-
finish it?
Yeah,
No.
Oh.
But it's
Okay,
one of those
yeah.
games where I'm definitely like I'm willing to be wrong about it. Do you know what I mean?
I'd give it another go. Like
I'll
play
give it another go. I'm
Yeah.
planning on playing it again soon because I haven't played it since it came out.
Yeah.
But
I mean-
I love the game. It's Frictional's best game in my
Yeah.
opinion.
We
Having
could-
played through Alien Isolation, Bioshock, Resident Evil 7, and Soma again recently, Soma's my favorite of those four.
I feel like we could unofficially book club this too, because I have it and I've been wanting to play it. So if we wanted to just like kind of sneak in,
I would love to talk about.
If you guys want to sneak in some games, some Soma hours, we could always talk about it next or the week after maybe.
Make it sound like it's a multiplayer game. You want to sneak some hours in, boys?
I mean, sneak some hours in on your own. But
I mean, honestly, it wouldn't be if y'all have time. I mean, Still Wakes the Deep is pretty short, so we could do a double feature. Still Wakes the Deep, Soma.
That
At
works
least-
makes I've just.
I'll try and play through Soma.
I'll try and play
I'll
a little
definitely
bit.
have
At
Still
least.
Wakes the Deep done, but
Yeah, me too.
Why don't we make Soma like a maybe? So you know,
That's a
Soma's
maybe.
extra credit, right? Extra
credit.
'cause
Yeah.
I feel like I've cheated because I just finished it like the other day.
Yeah. Well, and then we also could give ourselves a little extra time if we're doing a tier list on the next season. We could just
Oh, that's true.
we could talk about it the season after, and that
That's
way
true.
we could
It
just
could always
focus.
be Gary's pick because it'd be Gary's pick next anyway.
No, I don't want to force Gary's pick. I like when Gary picked a game. I still think about Viewfinder and feel delighted. Like that game was so good. Like
I'm
wanted.
I'm gonna pick something fucking delightful.
I can't wait. Just guys, all I want you guys to know, bro, is if we got this book club going. If that Hello Kitty Island adventure drops, I mean that's gonna be the book club for your boy. Like you guys plan on playing that at launch because whenever it comes out,
all
that's gonna be my pick.
Sure,
I mean, I'm down for a cute game.
we can talk about that.
I can't wait. It's been a long
Um,
time coming on that.
But yeah, like I was saying, I just recently replayed Bioshock, and Gary, I know you just recently replayed Bioshock.
It's really
Dude,
weird
what-
timing.
Yeah, really interesting. Because I think I saw the other day it was like Gary's playing Bioshock, and I was like, I just played that. I was like, that's
I
crazy.
wanted to because we played Orcs Must Die 3. Did we discuss it or something? I was trying to think like maybe we spoke
might
about
have.
Bioshock and we both put it in our heads as like we should play Bioshock.
Well, I was playing. Sorry, my daughter was.
Oh, I heard her.
Uh-oh.
I think bedtime is fast approaching. Yeah, I was playing Bioshock because I had a charity stream last month where people voted on a replay and Bioshock won the poll. So that's why I was playing it. But I was like, that works out fine because I was feeling nostalgic and wanted to check it out again anyway. So
Yeah.
Mine was I played Soma and I was like, I want to play more underwater games because like Subnautica, Soma, I love games that are underwater. Obviously, Sketchies has put it in my head as well.
yeah.
I recently replayed Bioshock 2 in 2014. It's like,
Oh wow.
I think I want to replay 2 because like as
It's
much
my-
as I
it's my
love
favorite
Bioshock 1,
Yeah.
I don't know if I think Bioshock 2. I want to revisit it because I have a very like my brain loves Bioshock 2, even though I know it's not as popular.
I thought it was better than Bioshock 1.
I rushed
Personally.
through 2 so I could play Infinite. And like I like blazed through it incredibly fast. And so I don't remember much of it. I'd like to check it out again.
I need to play
'Cause, like,
20 games.
I quite like 2. I don't like Infinite.
Oh really? Because like my trouble is like with
That's
2,
not uncommon.
I watched a load of stuff where the developers talked about the level design, so I love it extra because
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
just
Infinite
know-
or 2?
You look
2.
behind the looking glass.
Oh, okay.
Although I have done a lecture on Bioshock Infinite as well, because I played
I
that
was-
like very like around the time I did a lecture and I just broke down the level design.
I'm very interested in revisiting Infinite actually because that is a game that was very lauded at the time back in 2013 or something like that, 2014, somewhere around there. It was because I mean it was like winning awards, got rave reviews, and I remember playing it and liking it. But I feel like in the 10 years, 12 years since this came out, opinions have shifted, and it's not looked back on kindly. Is how I've been hearing things.
It's my prettiest art book that I have.
Oh yeah,
Totally.
the art direction's great. Yeah.
There's there's some criticism that's like it's insincere, and then I have like more criticism of it than just that. Like I don't like the way that like a lot of the combat is like very mid to far distance in Infinite, because I feel like in Bioshock 1 and 2, like setting up little traps and rooms and stuff is really fun. And in Infinite, there's a lot of these like big wide open spaces and you having to go on the rails and stuff, and it's like sometimes it feels more like you're just like throwing fireballs at people far away, whereas with Bioshock 1 and 2 it's like really satisfying setting up these like little, I don't know, like trap areas and watching them all freak out.
I will say, Bioshock is way easier than I remembered it being.
Same.
Like
Same.
I played it on hard, yeah, because I heard you played it on normal. John.
Maybe you're
Someone
just a god gamer now. Maybe you've
Maybe.
leveled up, Gary.
Someone mentioned that when I was picking my difficulty, someone was like, John just started playing it and he regretted playing it on normal. I was like, oh, then I'll play it on hard then. Fuck it. And then I regretted playing it on hard. I wish I played it on the hardest one.
I will say, Did you ever check the difficulty to make sure it was still on hard?
Yes, it was. Yeah, I checked.
Okay.
I checked today. Actually, I was like, this game feels really easy.
That's because I had the same thing because I was like I said on normal, and then I got to like about halfway through the game, and I was like, it feels suspiciously easy, and I checked, and the game had put it back down to easy without me telling it to.
Really?
Yeah, it was on because I like splicers were like dying in like 1 or 2 hits with the wrench, and I was like,
I did
this
the same
should
thing
not
towards
be
the
like
end,
this.
but I checked to be. I was like, it's still on hard, but
Yeah,
I think the game's just really easy.
I had to reset it. I set it to hard after that to make up for it. I was like, okay, I'll play it on hard,
On the hardest difficulty, is it like, because I noticed when you die in Bioshock, there's like no punishment. You just respawn. Is the hardest difficulty more punishing?
I think it's no. I think you can't use Vita Chambers, right? Or
I've no idea, because I'm sitting there like, oh, hopefully, because
Survivor difficulty?
really easy. I'm probably gonna play it again now in my own time, just because
yeah.
it's really easy, and I kind of want achievements.
Well, I remember struggling with it like 10 years ago. I was like, this game is hard.
Yeah.
Those bouncers. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I guess I've gotten better at video games back then. I'm like, how shit was I? It was so bad.
I mean, I had the same
guess.
thing with Resident Evil 5. Where I was like, this game is easy.
Yeah.
So
Whereas like when I was a kid, I struggled.
I looked up the difficulty setting. Sorry, what were you asking again, Gary?
The highest difficulty
the
on
hardest
Bioshock?
difficulty.
Okay, it's called
makes it
Survivor.
Yeah.
Enemies have 240% health. Less Eve restored after dying or being resurrected by Vita Chamber. Enemies are very accurate and very agile, and random loot is scarce. Scarce?
Okay.
Scarce?
So there's no punishment for dying still, except
I feel like it's one of those games that's kind of just
start
designed
over.
like that,
Well-
though, where it's more about can you get through the segment than it is like punishing you for dying.
I mean, I kind of like that because it's a story game, isn't it? Bioshock.
Yeah.
The Vita Chamber thing that you said, John, is just a toggle that you can turn on if you want.
Oh, okay.
You can like disable them if you feel like you would like that challenge, but it's not part of like the difficulty settings.
Yeah. Well, it's got like quick saves and stuff, so it's not really
Yeah.
even a
Yeah,
big
Bioshock's
deal.
great.
That might be one of the reasons why it's so popular, though, is like a lot of people they might have designed it so that people who were kind of still newer to this like big immersive storytelling, but also like a game that feels familiar, like it's got guns in it. Like a lot of people at the time when Bioshock came out, they might not have been aware that games were like that. So, not to sound disparaging, but a lot of the normies probably quite appreciated a game where they were like, "Oh, I'll just play it normal," and then they don't feel like, "Oh, I'm really frustrated because what the fuck, this guy keeps chatting to me and I'm shitty at it."
This guy keeps talking to me, dude.
What the fuck? And then they get to the end of it and they're like, "It's so clever!
sounds like an old
games
guy."
are good!" You know. And
I will say, like, I started losing my shit during the intro. Felt like a
Oh,
child
the
again.
introductory sequence to Bioshock is amazing. The way it like leads you into Rapture and Andrew Ryan's talking to you on the bathysphere down. That's just like one of the best intros to a video
Iconic
game.
intro, right?
Yeah.
So
It's just- it's a
sets
very
the
cool
tone
idea.
So well.
Have you guys seen Star Trek Deep Space Nine at all?
I've seen scattered episodes, but I haven't really like committed.
Oh,
Which one is
okay.
who's the captain in that one?
It's Captain Sisko.
I don't know.
Well, there's are you familiar with the character Quark? He's a Ferengi. He's got like the big ears and the
Yes,
fangs.
yes,
and
yes,
he's
yes.
got. So the actor for that is Armin Shimmerman. I'm not sure how to pronounce the name, but he voices Andrew Ryan in Bioshock.
Oh.
And I had no idea. I was like just randomly
He does
looking
a
at Bioshock
great
stuff.
job.
Yeah.
A man chooses.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
love-
Quark
I love-
from Star Trek. It like blew my mind.
when random
nice.
actors have like roles in games. I'm having the same thing with Inquisition at the moment, where it's Freddie Prinze Jr. is in it.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck? Like, my impression of you is you would not be like this character, but when you hear him speak, he's got this quite manly voice, and you're like, oh yeah, actually, it works really well.
Yeah, it's kind of incredible sometimes because you think about, especially like actors that kind of get typecast. You think of them as like, oh, they can only do that one thing. But professional actors, they can do all sorts of stuff if you give them the right roles. Yeah. Because I would have never thought that the guy who plays Quark would be able to be like, Andrew Ryan, I choose Rapture, the parasites versus the man, and all this crap that he does
Super
in
fun.
that game. Yeah.
A lot of Destiny players have like some of his biggest fans ever, Lance Reddick. You know, that great actor that unfortunately
Yes.
passed away. He was in
Yeah.
Destiny, and like Destiny fans, he was like, they're the ones that always like show up and always want me to sign things and are always like super
Wow.
excited for me in my career.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Destiny's got a bunch of famous actors in it.
I think it does,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's- but
Destiny's
they're
one of
the
those
Yeah, I think
games.
so.
It's like MMO adjacent, but I've never played it. But whenever I hear people talk about it, I'm like, was that game successful? And then I look up the numbers. I'm like, oh my god, people still
Yes.
play it.
I didn't
It's-
play
Yeah.
Destiny 1, but Destiny 2,
It's huge.
I fucking liked that game.
Oh
Yeah.
really? I didn't
It's
know you played it.
huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I played it a lot.
I played both.
like-
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you.
No,
please.
you go ahead. You okay?
No,
No, I found with
Yeah,
Destiny not
it's
to.
fresh.
I was trying to figure out a way to rephrase this, so I was stalling because it sounds like I'm like shitting on the game. I've never played Destiny, but Destiny's like one of those games that like you don't really think about, like, or at least I don't really think about because it's just out of my sphere of games that I'm interested in. But it's insanely popular, and it's one of those games that's played by like a lot of people out there that aren't really into games. Like if we talked about Bioshock, they'd be like, "Huh? Never heard of that," you know, like, and you're like, why? How can you not hear of Bioshock? But they're playing Destiny, you know, they're playing these games that have millions and millions of players, and it's just outside of my, you know, sphere, like I
And-
said.
I'm going to be a little nerdy again. Destiny 2 has probably the best tutorial introduction to any game I've ever played. I think it's just very beautifully crafted. Teaches you everything you need to know, introduces the story. Oh, it's beautiful.
I probably put like 1,000 hours in Destiny 1 on console, and I played Destiny 2 at launch. I was very excited about it. I was actually disappointed by Destiny 2 when it launched because I was really into Destiny 1, and I think it was just me being a cunt and like being like, I don't like this. This is different. This isn't Destiny. Like it was just, you know, that thing, and I never really circled back. I don't know what, around that time that I was exploring Destiny 2, I was kind of getting into other games at the time, so it just like, it never hit for me. But I do, again, I understand why it's so popular because Destiny is awesome. And like, I rated and stuff in Destiny 1. Like I was like super into it. This is another MMO. Scratch.
I think the DLC in Destiny 2 was kind of weak until I got fed up with it because I think a couple of the DLCs kind of flopped for me and I was like, I'm done.
I feel like that's what I did too. I think I bought like the first DLC or maybe even the first two. And then
Is that the
I
one that was like,
you know,
like the desert area with the pyramid things? That sucked.
And I was like, this is just bad. And this isn't Destiny. They're just milking it. They're squeezing out. I don't want to play anymore. But I mean, obviously it persists today, so it's still very popular.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
It's like a really like I think it's got a really good like casual experience or like a really low like I think it's an easy learning curve to like get in and play.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
Yeah.
very accessible for an MMO, right?
I mean, it's a shooter, right? Primarily.
It's a shooter MMO, right?
Very satisfying guns as well.
Yeah. Yeah, shooters are always going to be the most accessible game. It's just like, see that? Shoot it.
Okay.
You know, there's no like looping
Okay.
mechanic or
That's what you
anything
did,
like.
Yeah.
Am I good?
No, you can't harm the killer. You can only pallet stun them. None of those
Yeah.
strange foreign things.
Speaking of, did we want to talk about the DBD event a little bit?
Sorry.
Sure, I'm down.
We've all played it, right?
you
We've all
can
played
if you want.
Yeah.
the Masquerade.
Yeah. I'm currently being dragged on Twitter. Like as we
Oh.
speak, my mentions are just constant people.
What did you do?
I tweeted that. You want me to read the tweet out loud? I'll read you guys word for word.
yeah,
what I
I'm
said.
intrigued. I haven't seen your tweet.
I tweeted this in
Let's
the
see if
middle
I
of the night.
disagree with you.
I tweeted this in the middle of the night last night after 5 straight hours. And I mean, I know people love to exaggerate their experience in DVD. It's like the number one thing people do. But after 5 straight hours of and I'm not exaggerating, I have video evidence. Every single match was a hardcore esports level tunnel at 5 gens. There's tunnels slugging at 5 gens. People would DC and the killer would play as if nothing happened. It was just the most, and these guys were playing Blight and they were bringing the strongest add-ons, the strongest shit. Like it was just hardcore. And again, all well and good to play that way. If you don't already have, okay, I said killer mains are giving me secondhand embarrassment this event. You're literally playing the game on the easiest difficulty level with remote hooks, remote pallet breaks, survivors distracted by rotating cards, survivors going for points over wins, better turbo sweat every single match. LOL. Like,
Oh yeah, I saw your tweet. Yeah.
and that's all
I
it
did
was.
see that one, yeah.
And then my mentions are now full of like, oh, sounds like a skill issue. Oh, sounds like you don't want to tell people how to play the game. It's like, no,
Jesus.
That's really not
We're
what it's
so
about.
tedious.
it's like, I
Yeah.
don't even care. It's not about losing games for 5 hours straight. It's about not really playing DBD for 5 hours straight. Like every
Right.
single match, they're just like hard tunneling out the first person they see, and then they're still playing like they're getting paid per kill. I just don't get it.
I will say,
Chill
when I
the
played
fuck
it
out.
on Tuesday, it's been a long time since I've been slugged at 5 gens by a blight.
Yeah.
Or 4 gens, whatever it was. Like really early game. It's been a
Always
long time
fun.
since I've been slugged for the 4K. I was like, wow. Then I was seeing Nurse again. I was like, wow, this
Yeah.
event, DBD's changed in like the last couple of weeks.
It's like
So I'm
and
playing it less now. But
I've always pushed back on people that are like, "Oh, the event is bringing out the sweats. It's bringing out people." No, this is absolutely 100% happening now. Though I've been playing the whole event, and this was 5
Yeah.
hours of just. I had a sponsored segment with Call of Dragons. Could not wait to play that mobile game. I was like, please get me out of DBD. I
Call
want
of
to play a
Dragons
mobile
is
game right
great.
now. It is great. I agree. That's not fair because it's a fun game anyways, but it's just so bad. And then the thing is, like, they have 2 queues now. There's the regular queue and then there's the masquerade queue. And
Yeah.
it would really be a solid if the devs wanted to officially state, hey, the event queue is supposed to be for playful enjoyment. And then if you guys really want to go esports, like that's what the regular queue is for. That's where you go to play to bring the map offerings and the 4 slowdowns and the hard tunnel and get your tournament strats. But the masquerade playlist, it'd be kind of cool if people just chilled the fuck out so everybody could have fun. And that's not happening at all. And it's never going to happen. No one's going to say anything of behavior because, again, they're cowards that have absolutely no backbone. They won't ever make an official statement about anything. They just let the player base get mad at each other constantly.
yeah,
let
the trouble I
everybody
had
just be
was
miserable.
I think I did like 4 or 5 matches of Survivor. I was like, well, these were like, it was like I've never had such consecutive horrible matches.
Yeah.
I was like, let me play Killer, and the queue took forever because everyone's playing Killer because
It's
you
free.
need to really
It's free.
enjoy
It's
it.
easy. It's easy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I played Pig, and I was very fair, and I brought my stupid oppression and stuff. You know, that's getting a buff now, which is cool. But like, I was just chilling out. I think I still won because it's really easy as Killer at the moment to win in that mode because
So,
people are busy, as you say, busy doing shit.
yeah. Stuff like this.
And you can just break pallets, like, you know,
With your mind.
Killer Shack isn't a problem.
Right.
Your basement hook somebody with your mind.
But then it took so long to get into the next match. I was like, oh, back to Survivor. And the matches did get a bit better. Like, I had a really fun bubba. I had some really nice killers and a few sweaty ones as well. But it was like a bit more of a balance. But my God, there is a lot of
It's
just
so bad.
really
So
hard
bad.
to enjoy.
I play Killer
And I've
for.
recently just taken a break from DBD, right? Like, I've taken 2 months off. I've come back. I play it like once a week now. And it's
Yeah.
like, I've come back to kind of this. I'm like, I'm going to play Bioshock.
Yeah,
Like,
the
it's
killer,
Right.
the killers that are tweeting that every survivor is sweating their balls off are fucking lying to you as well. Because I played Killer for 3.5 hours, no slowdowns at all, no tracking perks at all. I was running Enduring, Spirit Fury, Brutal Strength, and nowhere to hide. So I was using that one.
Right.
Anyways, that's my build. I'm going into the match like I will not 3-hook anyone. I'm gonna 2-hook everybody. If I catch a guy that's on death hook, I'll just slug him and leave him. So they figure it out that I'm not killing people pretty early in the match. Playing that way, going totally chill, no slowdowns. I lost 2 games. 2 teams were actually sweating in 3.5 hours. The rest of the guys were all just chilling. They're just chilling. They might be bringing strong perks. They might be bringing decent toolboxes. Who knows what they're doing? Didn't make a difference because I was like, just again, no camping, no tunneling, no circling back to the hook. I would just chase someone, hook them, move on, kick a gen, break a pallet with my face, chuckle a little bit, move on, having fun. Somehow I'm enjoying myself. Somehow I'm getting 150 to 200,000 points a game. And 2 games, there was like the gens were done in like 4 or 5 minutes and they were out. And can you fucking blame them with the way killers are playing?
No.
For just like doing
absolutely
what they
not.
have to, right? So to me, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I don't know where these like death squads that these guys, I don't know where these elite high level esports killer mains are that are only going against death squads, but I'm seeing
Yeah.
maybe 1 an hour.
What was your experience, John and Seno? How
Yeah.
did you get on with that?
Let's hear it.
So I've only played Survivor so far. I haven't played Killer, and I've only played for I played for like 3.5 to 4 hours the other week, and I had a mostly okay time. I think I only escaped once, but you know, there's other ways to have fun. I had some nice chases. I will say, the remote hook thing. That like I think after like the second time that happened to me, I was like, oh, that's really strong. And then I started noticing it's like I was getting remote hooked all the time. I don't know exactly how it works because I haven't played Killer in the event yet, but it seems like they get remote hook a lot.
You know how
'Cause-
quickly you'd get like your little silent footstep thing?
Or they'll block the
The same.
window thing,
Oh yeah, it's the
Yeah,
same.
it's the same.
You literally just use an invitation to do it, so they can get
Oh
2. They
my
can have 2. They can
God.
have 2 charges on deck,
wow.
and like they
Yeah.
can. And that's why you'll notice these killers what they're doing is they'll slug 1, and then they'll leave them on the ground and like cause chaos. And then when their fucking remote hook comes back, they go back and they pick them up and hook them, and then go back.
That's
Like it takes all that downtime away.
yeah, because I was once it started happening, I was like, okay, that like eliminates a lot of gameplay. That eliminates like flashlight saves. That eliminates like sabotage plays, like breakout plays, like really like body blocking. Like you
lose your respite when you know the killer's busy doing something.
Yeah. It's like a significant amount of survivor teamwork is completely nullified by remote hook. So I don't like that. And that's like my main complaint with the experience so far, aside from how sweaty people are being overall. But that's to be expected at this point, I guess.
There's no logic to those remote hooks either. Like it won't. It's not like Pyramid Head cages that they put it as far away from you as possible. Like it will literally. He'll sometimes remote hook you right next to him. He'll remote hook you next to somebody else who's hooked. He'll remote hook you into the second person in the basement. Like,
isn't it the closest hook?
Is that what it does?
I thought it was the closest
it was,
available hook.
I didn't know that there was a logic to it. I thought it was just random.
I think it's the closest available hook it puts you on.
Oh, okay.
I kept going down near the basement, which was very annoying because then I get remote hooked in the basement. And
Yeah,
I was
which
just like, damn, that would take you forever to go down those stairs. Whatever.
Shouldn't even be a thing. They should not remote hook you to the basement no matter what.
Yeah.
That's
You think that would be-
insane that they do that.
Yeah. I was getting remote hooked to the basement like constantly. I was just like, damn it, I went down by the stairs again.
God damn it.
God.
So how'd you get on?
Yeah, so now let's hear your take. I'm sure you played a lot of Survivor, yeah?
So I played with two people, and one of them was higher MMR, better at the game than me, and the other person was newer to the game, lower MMR than me. It was kind of a nightmare. I won't lie. It was kind of a nightmare. It was difficult because a lot of the killers in the event queue were playing very much to win, as according to the way that behavior classifies winning, which is killing people. I think that's kind of my main complaint, and I don't really want to keep rehashing it because I've had this conversation like 20 billion times, but I feel like until behavior redefines what a win constitutes, and like it's like what you said earlier, Doug, about like how I'm not an asym player because I think, is this a fun play style? I feel like you kind of have to shape the experience so that when people are playing to win, it doesn't create the most unfun experience every time. Somewhat. Obviously you can't do it perfectly, but it's like if, for example, the game emphasized hooking people over getting kills, quote unquote, that might help prevent situations where the best thing for the killer to do is just to tunnel someone out and just camp the fuck out of them, and then that's it. You know?
So you're advocating for hooks over kills.
Hooks
over kills. I'm
all
all
about
about
it.
it.
Kills.
Yeah, I'm all about that.
I remember when they were going to change Sadako.
The prophet spoke, and I listened.
I've been saying that for years.
They said it for years.
Said it
They
for
were
years.
going to change Sadako, where like her power was all around hooking people, and then they got rid of that. They just changed their mind because
Right.
they
Yeah.
hooked people. It's like
That's
it was such
weird.
I don't know
That's
why they're so
weird.
adverse to like making it about hooks, because the game should. There's hooks everywhere. That's the point, isn't it? I don't know.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I played League
Yeah.
of Legends to win. Well, that wasn't very fun for me on the enemy team, so you should stop doing that. It's like,
Yeah, I think that
you have to craft the experience so that that's just not constantly a
I
problem.
think the best the game ever was when we had the rank system that was iridescent, like red rank
Yes.
all the way down, and then when
I
they had
agree.
they had the cube, the pipping cube, which like it definitely
Yeah.
incentivized hooking over killing. Like you could pip as killer with a 4 out, and you could de-pip as killer with a 4K if you didn't get enough
Yeah.
hooks. And that was the
Right.
best the game ever was, in my
I
opinion.
remember it was because it wasn't like Michael was a nightmare to get because it was just
Yeah, you de-pip on Michael with a 4K because he got so many instant downs and like you ended the chase
Yeah.
too fast.
yeah.
Yeah.
I missed that
Yeah.
system. I think,
But
that was way
they
better.
could have tinkered with that and made
It wasn't
and the game would
perfect.
be a lot more enjoyable. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish that, like, because I remember at the time it was a big complaint, like a big pain point with people was like the emblem system is like how flawed it was. But it was better than anything we have now, and I wish they had just, if they had just made a few adjustments to it in cases, like you said, for Michael Myers to not deep-hip when he gets a 4K
Yeah.
in red ranks, then it would have been a great system moving forward. But
Agreed
instead
1,000%. And they still
we got
use it
MMR.
on mobile, right? I think it's still being used.
of course
in
they
mobile.
do. Of course they do. I'm so fucking
I was
saying that.
Yeah.
I was
The
raging.
rank system
last
was better
night.
than Gride.
I would main DVD mobile if they had a PC app, and that's why I bet that's why Behavior won't let NetEase make a PC app for it like they did, because NetEase made a PC app for Identity V, so you can play Identity V on PC as well.
Right,
as
yeah,
mobile.
they did. Yeah.
And Behavior will or NetEase will ban you from DBD if you catch you playing ranked on. There's like a couple of emulators you can get.
Oh, like
play.
BlueStacks.
Yeah, but it's like it's
Yeah.
not BlueStacks, but there's like another one like BlueStacks, some Google thing.
Hmm.
But you can't do it. But I was saying this last night. I was like, I would literally main DBD mobile if they had a PC app because it's literally a better game. It's more fun. The rank system is better. And then again, they have it perfectly. And then this is the way they can do it now. Give us the Masquerade queue. Just take the DC penalty out of the Masquerade queue. That's all I'm asking. Just make it.
That totally makes
Make
sense.
it so
I
we
hear you.
Yeah,
make it
fix
so we
it,
can
yeah.
make it so we can DC. If I can DC, you guys remember what happened when they took the DC penalty off like a couple years ago? Everybody just DC'd against Nurse. Nobody played Nurse for like 2 months.
Yeah.
I remember.
that
I
was
remember
amazing.
reading all. Do you remember just like
Oh.
laughing at all the Twitter nurses?
Yeah.
Oh
Being-
man, the
Oh.
Twitter nurses were so just like, I can't get a game.
Yeah,
And
give
I was
us
just like, yeah, eat shit, dude.
Yeah, give
Fuck
us
you.
give us the social contract we can enforce. Be like, yo, no DC penalties in the Masquerade mode. You want to come in here? You want to fuck around? You want to fuck around with slugging at 5 gens? I'll go next. You want to
Exactly.
you want to
And
bring
you
a
can be stuck with the AI. You can
Yeah.
go against 4 AI.
yeah, go
have
against
fun.
Go
Might
get
as
your
well play
points again. Yeah, get your points against your bots.
Yeah, playing a custom match against bots.
Yeah, go get your points against bots. You don't like it?
Those-
Start playing different.
I will say I didn't see any skull merchants in the Masquerade.
I did.
But
I did.
It was.
I
it was.
did.
But it was just weird to see Blight again. I haven't seen Blight for a while, but suddenly he was back, and my god, he was with a vengeance.
Mm.
And there's that Vecna perk, the life weaving one. That like if
Oh,
if the item drops, it's like they get wall hacks on you, and they're just
And then
using
they-
Franklins and life
with
weavers.
Franklin's. Yeah, I
Yeah,
ran into that a
very
few
strong.
times on
That's
Skull Merchant even.
everywhere.
It was just like,
It's like the new hot. Is that big?
Yeah.
I hear people hate Vecna as well.
Yeah, he's frustrating to go against.
Yeah,
I
don't
do
really-
like crouching against his little range attack though. That's fun.
I think it's for him. I don't think it's specifically him. More just like there's so many people playing the new killer right now. That's just like you just get tired of it.
Which I'm kind of surprised. I thought he'd kind of go away a little bit.
Hmm.
I thought he'd xenomorph it personally.
You know how people are. You know, people don't actually play the killers they enjoy. They play the ones the survivors hate.
Yes,
It has nothing
yeah,
to do with
yeah.
actually liking the killer. People are complaining about it, so there's gonna be more players.
Mhm.
Kind of
It's the
killer
old-
makes you go, oh, I miss Wesker.
Yeah.
I do miss Wesker.
I love Wesker. He's great.
Hmm.
7 minutes.
So
7
I
minutes
can
is all I can
spare.
spare.
I
I
want
wish
to
you would
get.
say that. I wish you would just say that when the end game clap starts.
Yeah.
And just say something like that.
But you should say
Everybody-
2 minutes.
4
Is it
minutes.
2 minutes? Is that? Or is it 4 minutes? 4 minutes.
Is it 2 minutes?
Spare.
I'm
I don't
running
know, I lose
Terminus.
He just told you his perks.
Yeah.
I've got no end.
I've got no one escapes death.
That's
running-
how. Oh, imagine if you did voice lines for that. If he hit you with it, and he goes,
No.
"Surprise! I've got
Sloppy
no one
butcher."
escapes death."
That would have been.
I
really
had
cool.
Blood Warden. It really is 7 minutes now.
Somebody tries to flashlight blind him and it's like, I have Lightborn.
Oh, that'd be so good. Behavior. Pay him some more money. Get him some more voice lines.
He just has to have like 100 more voice lines for
Just
each
need that many.
perk.
Just like 20. Just need
Oh,
them for
yeah,
like
yeah.
the funny perks.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to be like,
surprise ones.
surprise! I've got brutal strength. I don't need that. But
Every time he breaks the pallet, he's just like, brutal strength. Ah. Every time you pallet, suddenly he's like, I've got enduring. Ah.
surprise! Spirit
Surprise.
Fury.
You failed to account for my tier 2 pop goes the weasel.
Exactly.
I'm making it sound a little bit like a British villain now.
Yeah. Well, he is,
Total
isn't he?
mustache.
That's basically what.
Oh.
Wesker is an American pretending to be British who's a villain.
He could like for ultimate weapon when he opens locker and he gets the aura reading, he could be like, there you are. They could even like reuse voice lines. That'd be great.
I've got enduring.
You've just activated my spirit fury. Fool.
This is a great idea. Oh, Wesker could be my favourite killer to go against at that point.
Consider your hope devoured.
I guess I've ruined your generator progress.
Yeah, just get us in there. You don't even need this other guy to do
Yeah,
voice.
we'll
it.
do
Just
it.
get us in the voice booth. We'll do it. Yeah,
We'll do it on a
for you.
rotation so it all sounds slightly different.
It's like- yeah. That would be funny.
Overall, I would rate the event The best one they've ever done.
Just back to the serious topic.
Yeah.
The raw description. It's the best. It's most cool. The most interesting event they've done. I love the rotating cards. I love the randomness of like you can get healed but exposed. You can get speed boosts that make you insane fast. But everybody's insane fast. The totems, the party totems are cool. So many points to be gained. It's like the actual event itself, awesome. The players have ruined it. Like everything with DBD.
Right.
It's really cool that this event is out. It's too bad it's in DVD because maybe it'd be fun if it was like a different game. But since it's DVD still, then people are just like, damn, I'll use the most strongest stuff and play the sweatiest I possibly can. Oh my God, I'm insane at this game. Like, I want to just yell at these guys. Your 4Ks don't fucking count, dude. You can break pallets with your mind. You can hook with your mind. You got people that are fucking distracted. It's like, oh God, I'm exposed and there's no. Just shut up,
I've
loser.
just snuffed out your boon totem.
Jesus, man. Like, shut up, dude. Like, who are you trying to impress? It's like, I can't decide who's more embarrassing. The ones who play on a non-mode so that nobody knows what they're doing or the ones who are proud enough to be off of a non-mode. Like, Jesus, man. Which one? Actually, they're both awful. But, yeah, it's DVD, right? It's going to keep on churning out content. We got a new licensed Survivor being announced next week.
I can't stop thinking about Wesker.
You guys are gone. I'd take it.
I see you. I've got Hangman's trick.
Just imagine, like, you're trying to get out the exit gate, and then you see, like, it's being blocked by Blood Warden, and then you see him in the distance, and he's like, ha ha ha, Blood Warden activated.
Good luck with the door. I've got Remember Me.
Yeah. Don't forget me.
I just get this impassioned thing about how shit it all is, and I just can't get Wesker.
At the start of the match, same thing. I have corrupt intervention, so don't even think about doing those generators.
Guess what?
I spotted you.
How will you escape this one, Chris?
Thrilling tremors.
I like the idea that he just has a running monologue throughout the match.
Yeah.
Every time a perk activates, he's got a comment about it.
Did you do a rushed action?
So
because I'm
no.
all ears.
No, I'm all ears. Pops. He's like, why does this even need a cooldown?
Yes, exactly. Now, see, this is the type of shit that Capcom missed out on because they could have had Albert Wesker and Resident Evil Resistance.
That's why they had to come up with Daniel.
Daniel.
I'm telling you,
Which
man.
is a guy in a trench coat who has a French accent.
Destruction, disease.
Corrupt intervention.
Oh, he'd be such a good. Imagine him as the next DVD killer.
You have been put on a scourge hook.
How do you like the taste of my barbecue and chili? Why am I'm going like I'm going
go
Jamaican there for a minute there.
How do you say barbecue and chili?
Barbecue.
Bubba,
Oui.
Wow.
Bubba.
The coup de grace.
Oh,
It's perfect for
Oh,
him.
he'd be perfect for that.
Oh, for good. Yeah. So, this is actually a great segue talking about all this. Because Gary and I have a special surprise.
Oh no!
yeah.
I forgot about this. All right.
In honor of our 50th episode. This is so good. Gary, we've kept it a secret for so long.
Yeah, we have for so long. The
For
entire
so long.
podcast. Since episode 3?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So I have a special way to reveal it, Gary. I think you might appreciate it.
Oh, I'm excited.
Okay, so let's let me know if you guys can see this real quick. So you guys can see that, right?
Oh, I can.
Yes.
This is the thumbnail format that we've been using for a long time. I know it says episode 50 right now, but this isn't going to be the title for the episode or anything. But have you guys ever looked at this? Like the thumbnails for the series on YouTube?
I've looked at it. Yeah, I see it when I click on the video.
Yeah. Let's take a look at it. Let's see.
Okay. Oh,
See if we remove those.
we're deconstructing it.
And we remove the logo. Oh, this is an interesting pattern right here, actually. Let's see if we can rotate that. Let's see. Image rotation. This way, maybe. Huh. It's an interesting bunch of colors right here, isn't it? Does this remind you of anything? Does this remind you of anything?
This is how you made the background? Amazing. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Hooks overkills himself.
Oh
Hooks
my
over
god,
kills.
bro! No way. The colors. That's perfect though, because yeah.
It's
good,
Mr.
right?
True Talent himself in the background of every single Spine Chill thumbnail.
He is the foundation.
He's the
of
rock.
podcast.
He's the
So
rock.
this is the
Rock.
photo that you guys took with him, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Yes.
true, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the photo
Yep,
of you guys.
that's
with
true.
him, Yeah, that's
true.
That's true. Talent.
yeah. Here you can see. You can see me and Gary. We never published this photo.
Yeah.
That is.
Oh, man.
That is beautiful.
Look at
I
us.
was there at that
There's Gary
TwitchCon.
and
John
I.
and Gary were so excited.
We
to
were
go
so
and find True
excited
Talent.
to take a photo with True.
So excited.
Recognize your face.
I recognize your face.
He did say that to me. He said, "I recognize your face."
I had no fucking clue who I was.
You're so lucky.
I didn't know Gary. That's why he's got his arm around me and not Gary here.
Yeah.
I remember this.
I'm John's entourage.
flood
That's
of
right.
memories coming back from this photograph. That's amazing. I can't believe
Yeah.
that.
We had his face as the avatar for the group chat for a long time.
And then we had a brainchild.
Yeah. Yeah, we just put Gary and I we were trying to think of like what to do for the background for the thumbnails. We were having a little powwow and finally we just gave up and we're like, what if we just blurred True Talent's face?
It's a nice
And
background.
it,
It worked well.
and it worked
And it
so
worked.
perfectly.
Yeah, it worked
was
Yeah,
perfectly.
it's
Yeah.
amazing, and it's funny because like I've seen the photo 100 times, but like now I get it. That's the color scheme. That's literally
Yeah.
it. Like that's the
Yeah,
photo.
that's it.
That is-
It works perfectly. Like it just like frames the logo right there,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you just put a little.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that was our surprise in honor of
Excellent
episode
job.
50. Hope
Yeah.
you guys. Hope you
No, that
guys
was
enjoyed it.
better than I ever could have imagined. Actually,
And can I just say, excellent reveal, John. Excellent reveal.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank
no,
you.
that
I
thank
thought that
you.
was superb.
10 out of 10
Great work.
segment. Yeah, beautiful.
I apologize to our audio only listeners, by the way, but
You'll
you'll
need
just
to
have to
watch
see
it.
that part
Yeah,
on the video.
Trust us, it looked fantastic.
It
Very-
looked fantastic.
Really worth your time to circle back on the YouTube video. Watch that. It's very.
Gary and I have been like, I wonder if they'll ever notice and
Or ask. We were like, will they ever
or
ask? do you
ask,
think?
right? Yeah, no way, right? And so yeah, we plotted this reveal some time ago.
Been a long time.
It's been a very long time, 2 years almost.
Yeah.
at
That's
this point.
insane. Oh my god, it's so
Perfect.
funny. So funny. You guys are the funniest dudes I know.
Thank you.
I'd never get it until
I
you
can't for the
rotate
comments.
it.
I never would have asked for him in a million years. Like we could have done this podcast for 10 years straight. I never would have asked what.
I love how as soon as you turned it, it was like, you could just see it.
I
You
was
can
like,
just see it, yeah.
you could see like the penny drop in my head. I was like, oh my god,
It's the hat.
it's him.
Yeah. I couldn't zoom out too much because if you zoom out a lot, it's really obvious.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, well, fantastic season, guys. Best
Best
ever.
yet. Yeah, best
Oh,
yet.
before
for
we
sure.
finish, I just want to say, because it's June, so happy Pride, everybody.
That's
as
right.
well.
Happy Pride
Oh,
Month. Happy Pride Month to you,
To you, our fifth
our
co-host.
fifth co-host.
Did you see True Talent in the thumbnail?
Did you figure it out? Did you
Yeah,
figure it out?
why didn't you ask?
Did you see the Easter egg?
Imagine we got comments about it, like earlier, guessing it.
Yeah, it's just like, is that
Like an ARG or
True
something.
Talent in the
Like, how the hell do they know? How does our fifth co-host know?
Well, thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode where we're going to do the console tier list.
Oh shit!
I can't
Oh,
wait.
man.
Oh, we're gonna fight. We're gonna
Yeah,
fight.
we're gonna
It's
fight.
horrible there.
Put on
Yeah.
your boxing gloves.
Should I just pre-type out my apology letter to Gary after the season, or what? Like, just maybe get it ready.
I am going to get mean. You guys haven't seen me
Oh.
get really mean, but I'm going
Why do you have to
mean.
apologize
Oh.
to Gary?
Because I always end up yelling at Gary over. something
So I
stupid
usually end up
like that.
apologizing to you as well. So
True.
Oh, I thought you guys had like a
Yeah, but you deserve your apology.
differing console opinions, but we'll find out next time, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's the right opinions and there's the wrong opinions. And we'll see
I didn't-
I can't
who
wait to
has
hear
what.
all of John's wrong opinions.
Can't
No,
wait to
I-
hear all your wrong opinions.
I have a feeling that John.
Your wrong
yeah.
opinions.
Your wrong opinions.
I feel like Nintendo's going to be the battleground.
I can't wait. This is gonna be
Oh,
so
yeah, for sure.
fun. Oh,
It's going to be great.
and we got to do handhelds. We're gonna talk about Game Gear and shit. Like we gotta go deep. We gotta talk about everything.
You know
Ooh.
Desperate Housewives where Bree cocks the
No, I
shotgun.
don't. No.
Cyril knows. That's,
I know.
Yeah, that's
That-
what I'm.
Trash
That's how
TV
I'm coming
guys.
into battle. Yeah.
Awesome.
I love Gary. Out of all the imagery you could have chosen, in honor of Pride Month, you chose the campest idea of somebody cocking a shotgun of Brie from Desperate Housewives, the queer icon that she truly was. That's Gary.
I can't help who
That's
I
our
am.
boy. No, I love it.
and
Don't
we
change.
love-
Don't change.
if you change even a little bit, I'll be furious. Never change, please. Oh my god,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That'd be fun.
I can't wait.
Me too. And we'll
Happy
talk about
Pride
Still Wakes the Deep and
Yes.
some other stuff.
Maybe
yeah.
Soma.
Yeah, we'll bet.
Perhaps. Yeah.
It's gonna be like
We'll
a
see.
3-hour episode. If we're gonna talk about all that stuff and do the podcast, I mean, you guys buckle up. Get some fucking
That-
pizza rolls ordered and some Mountain Dew. It's gonna be a long season.
Yeah, we're probably not gonna fight over like, the PlayStation 1 or anything. We're gonna fight over like, I don't know, the Sega Master System or some shit like that.
You guys, what do you know about 32X? Oh, this is gonna be a great season. I can't wait. Like, I used to be obsessed with consoles growing up, so I've like
For a lot of
every
our
console.
younger viewers might not even recognize a lot of them.
Yeah, I
Too.
mean, who knows?
I might not recognize a
who
lot
kno-
of them. Doug just said something I have no fucking
Yeah, the
idea.
Sega 32X, the Neo Geo, the Nokia N-Gage. Like, your boy's been through the entire history of console gaming. Like, it's
Well, we'll
Can't
have to
wait.
make sure we find
The
a
cup
good
with a
tier
ball?
list.
yeah, fucking fidget spinners, dude.
The yo-yo.
It's
Yo-yo. My favorite console, the yo-yo.
The yo-yo.
hacky sack and the yo-yo.
All right.
Bro. Underrated. All right, yep.
Well, on behalf of me, Gary, Doug, and Senna, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
50.
Happy Pride, hugs and kisses.
Happy Pride 50.